Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Midwest Mayhem Podcast. I am your host, Tyler, and you're joining me here today for a special episode, the Firehouse Round Table. And if you look around, we are live. I've got three, I don't really know what to call you guys after having the conversations we just had.
Well, you can't say those kind of words on.
Well,
yeah, you can't use that content.
Bloopers. We'll put together a bloopers reel. Sitting with me today is Josh McAtee, Dylan Miner, Andrew Hopkins from Indiana. That's not Dave Pratt, just so you guys know. For the guesses on the Facebook post we had.
Not Dave Pratt.
Kind of the same.
So
It's not really.
we're going to sit here and talk about some firehouse stuff and some training and some leadership and all kinds of good stuff. But this podcast this series is actually sponsored by Muddy River Training. Huge shout out to Tyler Prater. Is that his last name? Is that how you say it? Prater?
Yeah, Prater.
Huge shout out to Tyler for sponsoring the Firehouse Roundtable series. I'm really excited to have him on board with Midwest Mayhem, and I'm really glad you guys could join me today. So, Andrew, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you came to the roundtable that's not round.
The table is definitely not round.
It's square, actually.
It is square. We've had a conversation about that.
We did.
I'm Andrew Hopkins, originally from Indiana. Been in the fire service for 21 years. Multiple certifications. Moved over here when I took my job full-time with the Missouri Air National Guard. Just here to share some knowledge, hopefully gain some knowledge, and have a good time.
Dylan?
I'm Dylan Miner, and I've been in the fire service for 14 years, and been doing that career for about 3. I don't really have a whole lot else to say. I mean,
We learned a lot about you and
I like turtles.
He likes turtles. There's a video about that.
There is.
I'm going to have to add that sound to my sound.
Because my daughter watched it, and she's like, I saw that.
I like turtles.
Yeah.
Anywho, we learned a lot about you. If you want to learn more about Dylan, go back and watch his Voices of Valor episode he done with us all the way back in January. It was dead cold that day. It was like 0 degrees outside.
Was that January of this year?
Yeah, January or February, one of the two. I don't remember.
I couldn't remember. What
Anyways, you were the 10th guest on our podcast. Now we're all the way up to 20 for Voices of Valor. So we're getting there. If you want to learn more about him, go back, check it out, and listen to what Dylan has to say. And Josh, we're going to go to you.
Cool. My name is Josh McAtee. I like to go to fires. That's about it. No. So I work full-time for fire department here in St. Francis County. I've worked full-time in the fire service for about 14 years, right around 20 years altogether in the fire service. I've done a lot of things other than that. Work part-time EMS, teach a little bit, all the fun stuff.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys joining us here on Midwest Mayhem and doing the roundtable with us. Again, a big shout out to Muddy River Training. The Firehouse Roundtable is proudly presented by them, home of Muddy River Divers and the Muddy River Training Consultants, LLC. From ERDI, Public Safety Diving and Auto Extrication to Fire Service Continuing Education, Muddy River Training delivers specialized hands-on courses designed to sharpen your skills and keep you ready when it matters most. If you're ready to take your training to the next level, these guys put on a great program. Josh and Andrew are actually instructors for Muddy River. Tyler made sure to comment that on one of our posts on Facebook. So if you want to get in touch with them, I'm sure you probably get in touch with one of these guys if you need to, or you can contact them. Go to their website at mrdiver.com, email them at info@mrdivers.com, or call 636-524-3645. That is Muddy River Training. So check them out. Give them some business. They're right here in our area. Do a lot of great training. Josh loves ropes.
I do love ropes.
I'm sure he will talk about that at some point in time
I
today.
could spend 2 hours talking about ropes.
He could spend 4 hours talking about
We could have a
ropes.
podcast all about ropes.
Call it the Naughty Podcast.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there's
I see what you did.
There we go.
There's a naughty knot.
There's a Naughty Knot.
We are on video. If I had some rope, I could show it. We'll save that for another time.
Perfect. Well, I'll keep that in mind and throw it in my notes tonight before when I go home to keep that going, to keep the Naughty Podcast going. Anywho, we're going to get into it. And just so you all three know, you all three are way older than I am. You're what, 43, Josh?
Yeah. According to an employee from the St. Francis County Ambulance District that I hope watches this, he said I was 43. I'm not. I'm 39. So my feelings were definitely hurt.
We're going by feel like 97.
Yeah. Your wife just texted me and said you need to speak up. She cannot hear you.
even from the living room, she is driving the
Demanding
ship.
orders.
That is just hilarious to me.
You can just go ahead and cut mine out.
Anywho,
Just done. Like, I'm done.
so all three of these gentlemen are older than me. Dylan and I actually went to high school together. We've been in the fire service right next door to each other for quite a while. Not anymore though. I left.
Yeah, but
I went to a different part of the hood.
now you're back.
Yeah,
You're
I'm back, but just in a different part of the hood.
Yeah.
I'm with Big River. So now I get to hang out with
Yeah.
this guy. Yay.
We all just want to do hood rat shit with our hood rat friends.
That
It's
we
fine.
do. That we do. And I get to see Josh every once in a while when we need a nice, big, pretty ladder truck or we need a fill in.
Yes. The Tower of Power, 3690.
That's the
Absolutely.
Tower of Power. There we go. So, anyways, these guys are a lot older than me. Josh, I've known for quite a while. Dylan, I went to high school with. Andrew, I just met, 6 months ago?
Something like that.
And here you are on the podcast.
Here we are.
I have magic in me. I can talk people into anything. Actually, I think I need to thank Josh for getting you here.
It was the other way around. He brought it up to me. We talked about this.
That's
And he
not what I was told.
"Oh, we're talking about doing this round table." I was like, it depends on who's involved in it. And maybe I did because I was like, I'll do it if you do it.
That's what you
maybe
did.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That is what it was.
Well, you two must
Here we
really,
are.
Yeah, you two must really like each other because here you are.
Depends on
Anywho,
who you ask.
Yeah, there are some people that think that we absolutely despise and hate each other's guts.
Yeah.
well, do you?
On agencies in this county, actually.
We've just kept it going.
We haven't stopped it.
That's the first I've ever heard of it. That makes you feel any better. Dylan, have you heard that?
I try not to hear things. This is like high school, bro. It's fire service. It's Gossip Girl.
Oh, Jeff Romine said there's a lot of BS around that table. Jeff must be watching. Jeff, shout out to you. If you don't know Jeff Romines and you're in the fire service here, at some point in time you've ran across him. Jeff, you're a great dude. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you so much. But yeah. So old people from the 2000. I was born in 2000, guys. Come on. What can you want to spit out years
That is
here?
weird. Like
No.
thinking about you don't remember watching 9/11 happen.
I
It's kind of
don't.
a weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can never forget my age though because I run with the years.
you do. Well, that's true.
I do. So yeah.
We are to that point, though, where a lot of people joining emergency services were not alive when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Josh, your
Oh, yeah.
comment, or Josh, your comment. Your wife just commented, "Babe." So yeah,
Babe.
yeah. Anywho, let's get to it because Josh has to go back to work. I think at some point,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go there.
Don't.
Andrew, that's going to open up a can of worms
Don't.
for you. So speaking of 2000, I want to go back and talk a little bit about the 2000s. And the reason I want to do that is because I feel that we are kind of somewhat in this area stuck in the pre-2000s. Okay? Would you all agree with that?
No.
No? You don't feel we are?
No, life would be a lot better if we were.
Yeah. You ain't kidding prices and whatnot.
As far as the fire service goes, I could see what you're saying, and I could see that we're way behind where we could be.
Yeah.
I mean, by a lot.
So we're talking outdated tactics, traditions, leadership styles, and that doesn't apply to everywhere. That applies in some
No,
places.
it doesn't. But yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to think if we merge on a fire scene together, you start to see who is still stuck in the pre-2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s. Maybe not that far back. I'll take that back just a little bit.
There's a few still
No,
out there.
there's still a few out there.
In the 60s,
No, the 70s.
yeah,
Yeah.
the roll-up rubber boots and coat.
I would go back to that like 100%.
I wish I had
I
said.
almost wore my hip boots to this podcast, but
I wish you would've.
I was expecting to be behind a round table, so I was like, well, nobody's going to see them, so I just left them at home. But still, wouldn't. I could go back.
Yeah, you can put that, show a little leg,
Yeah.
Well, we are sitting here at Frontline Armory, by the way. So if you guys could, the door's locked. You can't get in here. Allie, please stay at home if Josh mentions anything that you don't like. We had a discussion about that a while ago. You can ask him all about it when he gets home.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Anytime. So I want to talk about the king. Like people think they're kings of their own fiefdoms, right? Is that how that word works, Andrew?
Fiefdoms, yeah.
Fiefdoms. Yeah, I can't read today. I'm blind.
I was going to say, can you repeat that?
Turtles. There we go. Janice, hi. How are you doing? Thank you guys for watching. That's my fan club at their house. Thanks for watching, guys. Amy, Janice, Tristan, Cole, Landon, all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching. But yeah, so I want to talk about how people kind of like overview their own area. They don't want anybody else entering their kingdom. Anybody want to pick up on that?
You made the first sound.
You did.
Yeah, I regretted immediately making the sound that came out of me. I definitely can understand it. And maybe, I'm not just saying in our area, but in the fire service in general, you get those kinds of folks that get into a leadership position that they don't want any influence coming in from anywhere else, because to them, nothing but XYZ department is all that matters. And that can be an issue. Not having an open mind. I never really kind of understood people that don't have open mind towards other people coming in with knowledge and taking something from them, because if you can take something from somebody else and use it to better yourself, and then someone else can take that from you to better themselves, everybody's becoming better. But when you shut your mind off to allowing other ideas in, well, you never learn and progress or figure out things a different way than what you were used to, that maybe they're more efficient, maybe they work better for you. Maybe your learning style is different than someone else's, and because of the way you showed them now, they understand something they didn't before. But I'm not going to get too into details on all of that, I guess.
Well, it's funny you say that. Jeff Romine just said, boy, you were digging deep. Nobody wants to stir that pot.
Oh, we're going to kick that
But I
hornet's
think
nest
we're
at
going
some
to kick
point
that just a
tonight.
little bit. I mean, it's something that needs to be brought up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is something that lies for too long that doesn't get brought up and talked about.
Yeah.
Because, go ahead.
I'm just thinking,
Somebody's pumping jams out
they're
there.
good. God.
Shaking the whole building.
Um,
It's probably a car wash.
so there's a like the whole like, well, we do it like we're going to do it the whatever department way. I've never had too big of an issue with that, as long as like whatever the way is works,
Yeah.
and as long as we have like an open mind on changing things if we need to. But I definitely see like I see these like training scars in fire departments all over the place. Not like where I'm at or anything, but it's just kind of like and all over the place. For instance, like we had there was a search training that like guys were like crawling around, like holding onto boots and stuff like that. And it's like, this is not like we're not doing this. Like this is not beneficial whatsoever. Like we're gonna find somebody doing this. Like we need to get a little bit more aggressive about what we're doing. But then it's like the whole tactics of the entire department are kind of like that. Like there's this old lack of training, lack of farther understanding of anything, and it's just kind of like, oh, this is what we were taught to do, and it's like, well.
So that kind of goes back to the whole being stuck in the pre-2000s thing, because that was a lot of the tactics that was taught in the the late 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, which is what some of us at this table, not all of us, when we were growing up, and it's training scars. And you still see it in a lot of the way people teach that learned in those time frames and were taught. And not everyone, a lot of people are resistant to newer tactics and the way things are more efficient and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
The problem is that, this is the way we've always done things. But you can't tell me the why. If you can't tell me why you've done it this way.
Well, because that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
Which is the worst fucking saying on the face of this earth.
I found myself saying it. Like just being so used to like sometimes like I just don't have an answer as to why we do it the way that we do it. It's just the way that we do it.
That's the way we've always done it.
Like I don't like it.
That's
but,
not
like,
a good
I've
answer.
found
It's not an
myself
okay
saying that.
answer.
Yeah, I agree with you. but
That's
I
mindlessly
have.
following something
Yes.
without having the understanding of why you're doing it. If you can't understand why you're doing something and you have to go, well, I don't really know. Well, maybe you need to try to figure that out so that way you can determine whether or not that's a proper course of action.
Correct.
I mean, because most of the time you're going to find that there's 100 other better ways to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You said sometimes how do I put this? Sometimes you get such a lack of training that you take it upon yourself to go and find the training that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And what will really upset you is once you take that training or once you are certified in that training and you still see guys at your home department doing what you're not supposed to be doing, it will infuriate you, especially when you don't have a leader that will stand up and say, you know what, you're right. Let's take a step back. Maybe I am wrong. Let's let's regroup and focus on what we can learn from you, or how we can change to do this. Does that make sense?
Well, that's kind of like that's a king's a king of their own empire.
Yeah.
They're resistant to change because
it wasn't my idea. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, and that's when you have to be tactful and you make it their idea.
Tactful. That's a hell of a word. You realize you're sitting at a table with firemen, right? We had this discussion the other day. We're not English teachers. We're firemen.
I'm from Leadwood, and I know what that word is.
Leadwood. The Deadwood. Your town's stirring up a bunch of shit right now, literally.
Literally. Yeah.
It's been stirring it up for about 50 years, but now it's all in the,
Now it's finally coming to the top, huh? Well, we must be going somewhere, right? Because Jeff also said, bingo, we're hitting the topic. So I think we're doing something good here, fellers.
If people have got questions, drop it in the chat.
Maybe if Jeff's agreeing, we're just way off. I'm just kidding.
We love you, Jeff. Anybody in this county will say, oh, Jeff Romines. Especially if you ask Dave. He loves Jeff. He watched Jeff grow up. I've heard that about 40 times now. So we, how do I put this?
I don't know. You're asking it.
I don't know. I kind of lost track of thought, to be quite honest with you. I don't know. Let's just move to the next question. My mind just went completely blank there.
Maybe you'll remember it in a little bit.
Maybe. Probably not.
That's what my squirrel does. He'll run off and find some other nuts and bring up and go, look what I got. And then take off again. And you're like,
ADHD?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I probably need Ritalin or whatever the hell that medicine is for that. Anywho, so we talked about leaders being in charge of their own kingdoms. They don't want anybody to come in. They don't want anybody changing anything because it makes them look bad. So let's go. When does being proud of your department start getting in the way of working with neighboring agencies? We're talking department pride versus ego, because in this area, you see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, the department I was on having a beef with old Leadwood there. You remember that, Dylan?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I stayed out of a lot of the stuff that was going on back then. Like, I just didn't really pay no mind to it because it didn't affect me. I just showed up and did my thing and then went on about my way. But yeah, I mean, there's always been some type of rivalry between departments and things. Over the last probably 10 or so years, things have gotten better as far as people working with each other.
Yeah.
But the change in those departments over those years has been quite a bit. I mean, you got guys who were around, back in the 2000s, they were coming into chiefs positions and things like that. They started back in the, 70s and 80s, and all of that stuck with them through all those years. And now when you had that change come up and people started communicating with each other, you see the change for the better. People are more willing to work with each other, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. Whenever I started out at Deloge in 2007, and I left Deloge and went to Farmington part-time in, I think it was 2012 is whenever I went there part-time. And at the time, there were these departments that did not like Farmington at all. Yeah, like we had these guys. Like, I've seen guys like yell at people from Farmington, like back then. I can remember one. I'm not going to say the department that the guy was on, but there was a guy just full on yelling at another, like one of the guys from Farmington. It's like, you show some respect when you come out here, blah blah. And it was over nothing. It was nothing serious. So there were over time. And some of it, I think, kind of happened through whenever we still had the Fire Academy at Mac. There were a lot of guys that were instructors at Mac that worked at Farmington, either full-time or part-time, some capacity like that. So we were kind of able to mend some of those kind of ego things on a couple of the sides of it and make things better. And I think now, for the most part, I think that we have a really good working relationship with people, but that's still kind of palpable. You can still kind of feel it with some people. Sometimes it's oh, it's Farmington. I think they're better than everybody else. And it's no, not really. I mean, we're we are. No, just kidding. There are some things that whenever you're there all the time, and you can vouch for this, when you're at the firehouse all the time, whenever it's your job, there are certain things that you're inherently going to be a little bit better at. It's not to say that like a guy who gets paid full time to be a fireman is better at being a fireman than a guy who's a volunteer that's just there because they want to do it. Because I know guys that are volunteers with almost no formal training whatsoever that are awesome firemen.
Yeah. Some of the
I
best.
know guys that have a buttload of certifications that are pretty lousy firemen.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is like being a fireman. Like there's too many people that pin that on their chests and don't really stand behind what it means.
Are you a firefighter? Do you have a job? Or are you a fireman? Are you somebody who cares about the craft and you care about the people and you're into it? Like to me, there's a difference there. Whenever I say fireman, I'm talking about people that are into the job.
Yeah.
When I say firefighter, it's like it's a job title. It's a person that shows up and collects a paycheck or wears a T-shirt.
That's where you get into the T-shirt, the sticker, the hat wearers that are there because they can say, "Oh, I'm a firefighter. I'm on a fire department," and they're not there for the right reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
T-shirt wearers club. And did I say that out loud? Sorry. We see that a lot around. It's funny. You give them a T-shirt, a radio, pager, out the door, and you don't see them for a year.
Yeah.
We had so many of those at the department I came from, and it's heartbreaking, honestly.
You know, and what makes it hard now is that people aren't like banging down doors to be volunteer firemen.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of got to take what you can get, but the quality is.
And that's the unfortunate double-edged sword of a lot of this because everybody's hurting so bad for staffing, especially on the volunteer side and the career side too. In a lot of places,
career side just as bad.
It's hitting the career side, starting to hit the career side just as much as the volunteer side. But when you have a much more limited pool of applicants and you've got a lot of open spots and somebody says they're willing to show up and run calls, you're probably going to give them a pager and gear because you need somebody to show up and help run calls.
Somebody. Yeah, you just hope they show up.
Yeah,
and train.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the biggest thing that I see being an issue is that guys want to they want to say they're a fireman, they want to be on the fire department, but they can't devote the time necessary. And I get it. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You're working full-time jobs, you're doing all this stuff, you got kids, you got a family, you got other responsibilities that take precedence, and I get it. I understand. But also, if you're going to say, "Hey, I want to do this. I want to put an application in and I want to devote my time that I have to do this thing," then do it, you know. Don't I want to do this thing, but then like not really show up, and then show up and want to get on a truck and go wee-woos down the highway when you have no business on that truck doing anything that might entail.
It looks real cool to run blinkies and woo-woos to a station and then get in a truck or to go drive in a parade. But nobody wants to dedicate the time to learning the craft and understanding the process.
Or do a boatload of PR, but not run any calls whatsoever.
Yeah, then
you're selling a lie. Sorry.
Yeah.
To me, that's selling.
Oh yeah,
it is for sure.
Absolutely. They get out of the truck and they just kind of stand there like, "Oh shit, what do I do now?"
And it doesn't take long when you get on.
Just do something. Something is better than nothing every time. Usually, there's some situations where something might be worse, but usually something is better than nothing.
Unless you fall on fire. I used to be notorious for that. Matter of fact, I had a nickname for a while. I won't say it though.
It doesn't take long to figure out who those people are either. Even when you run, because this area runs almost completely on mutual aid. I mean, when it comes to
everybody
fires, primarily. So it doesn't take long to figure out who the outdoorsmen are and who the firefighters are.
Yeah. Jeff Romines beat me to my point, but he said, "I'd rather have 5 or 10 good people than 30 with half not doing anything."
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't having your numbers on the roster might look good or whatever, but if you're not having guys on that roster who are really worth having on that roster, then what does it do? It doesn't do you any good.
Yeah.
Now,
or girls.
Yeah.
Yes, or women.
Yeah, women as well. And there's some very impressive female firemen out there
Sexist.
and I've failed, at being better at sharing the knowledge that I've gained. I'm not a great teacher. Like you two are both instructors and been doing that for a while. I went through the instructor course and all that, but that's just not my thing.
Yeah, and there's a difference between like having an instructor certification and being somebody that can like share information.
When you can present information well to others, and I can do it better in a one-on-one setting if I've got somebody who I'm trying to break something down, and I can teach them several different ways to try to help them understand. And teaching is the best way to learn. Like, it is the best way to lock in that information.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But getting the group together and trying to make a presentation to where everyone's going to get something out of it, and I feel like it's going to be a training worth doing. I've only had a handful of those where I felt like, okay, that went well, it was good. I'm just not as good at presenting that to the whole as the department trainings as others are. Yeah. And trying to get those people to fall into that slot and pick up the reins and do it. It's that can be a challenge as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and that comes with time too. Like, when I first started teaching, I started teaching in the military, teaching medical courses. And my first probably 4 or 5 were really rough. I had a lot of learning to do, never really taught before that. And as I got into it, kept doing it, the groups I was teaching got bigger. I mean, there at one point I was teaching classrooms of 100, 150 people at a time. It got easier for me. And as you pick up a flow, you pick up a rhythm, and Josh can speak to this. Josh has done far more teaching than I have. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the easier it gets.
Sometimes it's like if you're doing a lot of the same information over and over again, like whenever we had the Fire Academy at Mac, every year, whenever we would sign up for like who's going to teach whatever night of the Fire 1 and 2 stuff for the Fire Academy, if you taught the same modules every year, you could blow through that stuff. Like, it was awesome. But one of the cool things with that is that you got, like, whenever there was a change in a standard, whenever it would change, like, you got to see all that information, which was really cool. But we don't have that anymore. So that's
teaching out of the book of lies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm glad you said that. What was it you just said
I don't know what I just said.
about Mac?
He said we don't have that
We
anymore.
don't have that anymore.
So let's cover that for just a second. So for those of you who are watching that are not from where we're from, Mac is a college here. It's our local community college that had a fire academy for how long, Josh?
Quite a while.
Quite a while. I went through
Way
it with
before
basic
me.
firefighter.
Yeah.
So Josh was actually one of my instructors back way when.
That's why he's as good as he is now.
Okay, you say so. I'm a little rusty these days, buddy. Year and a half off took it out of me. Anywho, that resource right there, not having that resource here in our community, I think is what is partially killed some of our firemen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. You know, and it's been a conversation that we've had a lot. Whenever I forget what year it was. I can't remember if it was 17 or 18 was the last year that we graduated an academy class. We had like close to 20 people, I think, that we graduated. And then they're like, well, we're going to take a year off. Like, we need to evaluate some things. And that was it. Like, I never got any reason as to why, like, it was just done.
It was
Not
like out of nowhere.
But since then, like, there's been, like, if you've been pretty involved with the fire service in the area, like, after that, there was this noticeable decline in, like, volunteerism, qualified people being involved in the fire service. Like, I can remember where I started out, it was not uncommon that even at the volunteer departments in the county, that if you were going to be promoted to a command staff level, even in the volunteer departments, they expected that you go through the fire academy. And either some places, like, you had to get fire 1 and 2. Some places were like, as long as you graduate the academy and you get the college certificate, that was good enough.
Yeah.
But now, like, we have people that are in chief level positions throughout the region that have no formal training whatsoever, and they're leading hordes of people that also have no formal training whatsoever, and it's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Like, it's scary.
Terrifying is an understatement.
Yeah.
Like, we truly, the volunteer fire service as a whole is at a way bigger detriment than I've ever seen before.
Absolutely.
And it's more dangerous for our volunteers than it is for our career guys. And that's just because, at least when you have a career department and you're working with other career departments, there's a baseline that everyone has.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have that with volunteer. You might got somebody that jumps off a truck who they learned how to put the gear on And that's
got
all
on
they
the
know.
truck.
That's the end of their knowledge.
Yeah.
They got off the truck and they don't have any training on what to do. They have no knowledge whatsoever.
And what happens? Let's play this out in a scenario. What happens if we show up on a structure fire? You roll in with 3 guys that have no clue what they're doing. All 3 of us are inside the house. One of us go down. What do we do? We have 3 firemen outside that are firemen that can't do a lick of anything to help us because they have basically, if you send them in, that's going to cause more of a risk than us just being down. Then you have 2 firemen down.
So what's going to happen is the 2 guys that are with you are probably going to be the ones that have to get you out.
Yeah.
And statistically, that's
statistically that's what happens.
If you have like anything other than like a major collapse or anything like that in a Mayday situation, like you're more likely to be rescued by whoever you're working with.
Yeah.
But like we've talked about it at work, like if we go mutual aid someplace and something bad happens, like that's probably going to be it. Like there's probably not
just have
going
to hope
be
that you can look around and go,
handful
that
of
guy.
guys that are really squared away.
Yeah.
You're gonna just pray to God that they're the ones that are showing up. And you know, to kind of to follow that up with one of the classes that we teach with Muddy River, our aggressive fireground survival class is based off of a
Structural
Mayday
collapse.
with structural collapse, and to watch that scenario unfold and realize how much time it takes for, I forget how many people we had our last class that we did that, but we had people divided up into companies, and they were, for the most part, like they all seemed like they were pretty squared away people, and we've had classes where it's like 40 minutes before they make a recovery at that point, before they actually reach where
And
the down firefighters at.
that right there is exactly what
the amount
matters.
of people that we have to realistically, if we have a serious Mayday situation, the amount of people that we would have to have is just not realistic for
You
us.
just got to hope that there's a handful or 2 handfuls of like into the job heavy hitters that show
Yeah.
up on scene, like
And
Dylan
honestly,
said, and hope and pray to God that they can get it done
since I
before
got
something else
promoted,
happens.
and then you like I have to be responsible. I am way more standoffish to do stuff on mutual aid fires with my guys because I understand like if something bad happens, like that's it. Like nobody's coming to get us, probably.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. So in our aspect of things, okay, we're good. Farmington's coming.
So
You are Farmington.
Yeah.
So who comes for Farmington? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Depends on what part of the county you're in.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
I'll follow. There are people in the fire service that if they're there, I would be comfortable. Like there are guys that are squared away that I have no doubt that they're going to do everything they can, but it's the realizing like how minimal that everything that you can is.
Yep. Absolutely. I can agree. You have a comment, by the way. I want to make sure I read it. Mr. Tyler Johnson says, "Hi, Dylan. I love you."
I love you too.
And Dylan's wife says you could set up on the mic a little more. She could hear you a lot better.
Gosh dang it!
So I'm just I'm giving the people what they want. This is why we're here. There we go. That's better.
Better?
Oh, that's a lot better. Just don't stick my mic in your mouth, please.
I actually stuck it in my mustache, so there's probably some hair.
I have to put that in saran wrap and put it on the wall now. I'm going to order a new cover.
You want me to just get all up on this one too?
I'm
Leave
not
a little bit.
I'm not made of money, pal. But yeah, go ahead. I'll just package
Frame
them
that
both
one
and
too,
frame
yeah.
it. We'll just put it in the same frame like a shadow box.
Oh yeah.
How about that? That was a
I
very
can probably get you one of those made
No, good lord, please. Can we keep the mustache hairs in it? Like,
if you want.
Yeah, I'll just take a few and pluck them and just we'll put them in there.
Put them in like a turkey.
Yeah.
Just prop them up and
Oh,
yeah.
I'll put a couple in Lockie's mics. I record again Sunday, so she has something to look at when we're. That was a legend that touched that mic.
Yeah.
Legends. Although I will say, Dylan, your mustache is sticking out a little bit more than old Josh's over here.
I did. I trimmed mine. I'm rocking the '90s dad stash. I've been kind of into doing that.
Now, which one? Who said in our group chat the other day? Ned Flanders. Was it you?
That would have been me.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it he says? Googly moogly or some shit like that?
He says all kinds of stuff, and I can't quote him right now.
None of it's
Yeah.
probably safe for this podcast.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. Anywho, before we become children and don't continue with what we're doing, we've kind of covered the t-shirt wearing, the leadership that holds strong over their own department and don't really want to let anybody in. I want to cover politics for just a second. I don't do politics on my podcast. I hate politics. I've always hated them. That's what drove me out of my position. The last department I was on, it just kills everything. So let me read this so I don't screw it up. How much do personalities, grudges, and politics between departments affect what happens on the fire ground? And I feel like this is a lot. This is a very heavy topic for this area as well.
Depends on where you go.
Yeah. It's a necessary evil it comes with the territory. There's going to be politics involved. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can see the point behind it. And sometimes it's, an
overreach.
Yeah. It's more of a pissing contest at some point. But it just comes with the nature of what we do. There's going to be that aspect no matter what, no matter where you go. Every firehouse in the country you walk in, there's going to be some semblance of, oh, this is how it is. It's a firehouse.
Mm-hmm. Political structure.
But yeah, it can be way out of hand sometimes.
When I first got in the fire service, I didn't get into it until 2014. I was 14. I was a junior. I started as a junior. So as a kid, they typically try to leave the juniors out of it for the most part. And the department I was on done a really good job with it. I was always told politics don't play well in the fire service. And for the longest time, I thought, what the hell does politics have to do with anything in the fire service?
Everything.
And then I became an officer. Boy, did that change my outlook on things. Because holy shit, are there some major politics you have to play with that I don't know how much you have to do because you're paid and hopefully you don't have to deal with a whole lot of it.
There are. Yeah. But, there's politics with everything. I think it's all. It's hard to answer that really because I think it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that whenever Tyler promoted me at Muddy River, I think it's because I'm better at talking to people than Tyler is. Love the guy to death, but I think that's part of what it was.
I hope he's watching and heard you say that.
What's he gonna do? Fire me? I already
own the company.
Come on. But no, I think that and it's been something like I am pretty good at being able to talk with people, and I think that for me personally, I think that does make it easier. And I also I don't have real firm opinions on a lot of things. So whenever it's if somebody has a different opinion, I don't really care. It's oh, whatever. The things that I have firm opinions on, it's like figure eight on a bite does not need a safety knot. Other people are just whatever, and I'm just it doesn't.
The night you told us at that training, I thought, what the hell is he talking about? Because I've always been told put it on a bite.
Yeah, you don't need a safety knot.
Or safety knot, not bite. My bad.
Everyone's always been on safety knot, but the whole figure eight family of knots, the knot itself.
Oh boy, we're getting naughty.
It's designed in a way that
hoorah.
So that's where I have firm opinions on certain brands of things. My wife would say that's autism. I think that's the word she uses.
Rhythm with the tism.
So Rosenbauer, you would not catch me driving a Rosenbauer fire truck. Sorry if you like them. I think they're garbage. That's just my personal opinion. I think they suck. But then it's air packs, MSA or Scott. I like Scott more, but if I wore MSA, I would care. It's just weird. But whenever it comes to the inside the firehouse, the politics thing, it's a thing that's going to be there no matter what. It's it's do you want to just embrace it and let it be what it is and try to kind of manage some of the outcomes of it, or do you just want to fight it and
create the problem?
Yeah. So it's that. And then grudges, there's always going to be firehouse grudges. That's why I think that we should have boxing matches at the firehouse. You should be able to have
our own Guns and Roses at Country Days.
Yeah, but I don't think
inside
people,
the confines of the bay.
Need to watch.
Yeah, I concur.
It doesn't need to be.
I don't think it needs to be a public thing. I think it just needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have, and it's any industry. There are people that are just not going to like each other. There are people that aren't going to work well with each other. It's human nature. You're not going to avoid that. And honestly, the best thing to overcome some of those things is going to fires. And unfortunately, we don't go to as many fires as we used to. But you can tell the difference in the firehouse. The whole mood of the firehouse is way better when you're going to good stuff.
Yeah, you're pumped up in mega truck.
Yeah,
matter of fact, let me play something that'll pump you up, Josh. This is just for you. Just for you.
Let's go, girls. Absolutely.
How about that? That better?
100%. So this makes me want to like boot doors and do awesome shit.
That's
Like,
exactly what I was saying. I just want to kick a door down.
yeah, there's something about that. As soon as I hear it, I'm like,
Nobody's going to beat Josh to the track.
like, I think that we should take away, like, we could do away with like the pre-alert at the firehouse, and we could just have that. And it's like we could be going to a lift assist, and I'm going to run to the truck. I'm going to boot the door open to the truck bay. I'm going to be like in the truck, like, let's go.
Let's go, girls,
And then
right?
and then we go pick up Mama and we go in service.
You know what? There's something to that. Like maybe
There
we should
is.
get this going. Like,
Yeah,
I think we could probably do a scientific. We're gonna have to find a scientist because none of us are
far
scientists.
from it.
But we're gonna have to find a scientist to do a scientific study to prove that makes firemen more
Oof.
oof.
We have soft alert because of scientists. We don't have like loud bells and stuff. We have a red light that comes on and goes, doot, doot, doot. Rescue pumper respond.
Rescue pumper.
We
Listen
need to go
that.
back to the
Claxton.
90s when you had a bell and
All the
lights and
came
alarms
on,
and the
they're-
lights came
they're
on and
scared the shit out of you.
Isn't that the Claxton?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that. It was like that whenever I worked in Jefferson County. Like we had, like you could hear the thing click. You would hear it click before the lights, and it goes really loud. So I would like plug my ears because it would scare the crap out of you. The soft alert is like it's supposed to like not startle you awake. It's supposed to be better for you.
For the heart?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a slow-
Like sleep
there
cycle.
is
yeah.
there was a lot that went into that, but there are guys that 100% will just sleep right through that.
It's not as cool.
I sleep through my pager. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's because I've listened to.
I sleep through my pager where I volunteer at all the time.
No comment.
Your wife says, "Bring fist fights back to the firehouse." I think that means she's going to fist fight you at the firehouse.
She tries to fist fight everyone at the firehouse.
She seems like the kind of lady, and
I
I'm
have
not
a-
saying that in a bad way, but
Yeah.
Remind me, I got something I want to cover. We're going to talk about, and I know 3 of the 4 of us know who I'm talking about. So you're going to fist fight your wife in the firehouse, and your wife says, and then he's woken up by an angel's voice. My, how sweet is that?
Aw.
How sweet is that, Josh? She's an angel.
Yeah, so was Lucifer.
Allie, if you come here, just remember the door's locked. Please don't
So-
break the glass because I'm
You gotta wait till
responsible.
we're done.
Please.
I will say that I will brag on my wife because she's an excellent dispatcher across all disciplines. She is very good. Sometimes we're not that lucky, and usually if I'm waking up to somebody, it's not her because she works days. So
Yeah.
3661, did you copy my traffic? Did you copy that?
So there was a day she was working, and every time I would go in service, after a couple of seconds, I would key up the radio and be like, 61 Central, did you copy that? And she's getting pretty fired up. It was pretty funny. I do not encourage goofing off on the radio. I really try to keep it to
Yes.
a minimum because then it encourages other people
To do
that
it,
should
yeah.
not be goofing off on the radio to goof off on the radio.
It's funny. I will say, Marie and I will turn the pager on and hope and pray that Allie's working because on like Saturday afternoon, if it's dead, she just comes across. You guys get a call, and you know something's going to happen. It just gets you amped up.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like how far do I want to push it? Like how far do I really want to push it?
Jeff Romine says the couch for you tonight. Although I don't,
That's fine. I like sleeping on the couch. She knows she can't threaten me with anything like that. I love sleeping on the couch. If she kicks me out, I will go backpacking. I love backpacking. I have a hammock. I
go
will go
climb
sleep
a-
in the woods.
Climb a wall.
It's the wrong time of year for
like
that.
she can't really do anything. Like honestly, the biggest punishment is going to bed next to her while she's pissed off. Like that's a scary one.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
You might wake
I
up
love
dead.
you.
I don't have that
I
problem.
love you.
Yeah, we know you're saying. You hear this poor me stuff. I don't have that problem.
I have that problem.
No, he just goes to bed and he cries himself to sleep all by
Pretty
himself.
much.
Sally Palmer and her 5 sisters.
It's awful.
Oh man.
Cuddle with my pillow. It's fine.
Anywho, before we get too far into another rabbit hole, if Josh ends up on the news missing, we know why. If we see,
I don't know anything.
I don't know nothing.
Yeah, all this will be deleted. So your podcast may not be up anymore.
Okay.
If that happens, if you're dead, you won't really care though.
Somebody's screen recording it right now.
So, with all this being said, this will take us right into our next topic. So we're lacking the well's running dry, fellas, on the volunteer side, the career side. We're just running dry in general.
Mm-hmm.
So without firemen coming in, learning and getting experience in the firehouse, how to fight fire, and having people to look up to, that takes us into our next generation of leadership. What happens after us? Because, I mean, realistically, we've got older chiefs in now. We got captains, lieutenants. Eventually, that would be us for the next generation. And then we have the generation coming in after us. But there's not very many of them. So let me read this to get the question across. What should the next generation of officers and chiefs be doing differently?
You're making a lot of assumptions, though. Those of us sitting at this table would be officers.
Well, he is an officer. You're technically an officer on your volunteer department.
Well, yeah, I am on volunteer.
Yes. I was an officer. You're the only one that hasn't been an officer.
Yes.
Must be nice.
Score one for the good guys.
Let's get this clear. I was voluntold that I was going to be a
peasant.
Voluntold. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got tired of people telling me what to do that I had more certifications than.
Yeah,
I get that. I do. I understand that.
Truthfully.
So I'll say this: that being a leader does not start with a promotion. Like, you need to be a leader beforehand, and you kind of need to have the qualities. But it's like with people that don't have all those qualities, it's like how do we get them there? So sometimes it's as simple as like letting the guys that work like on your crew that work under you, for lack of better words, like let them make decisions. Like that's like just like, hey, like you're. Like, make the decisions today.
Learn by attrition.
Whatever, yeah. Like we're gonna work through it and we figure it out. So and something that I told one of our guys a long time ago. We're not that long of a time ago, but it's been a while back. I told him like I'm not just rolling the dice every time I make a decision. Like, so a lot of the decisions that I make now are based off of observing other leaders in the fire service like make decisions. Like I kind of like I'm mirroring a lot of the things that I do off of people that I worked for that I really respected, and I thought that they did a good job. So like I kind of do some of the things that they do. Sometimes you have to figure it out. Like, it's never like our job is not black and white. Like there's a lot of gray area and there's a lot of things that you just have to figure it out and go. But I think that once you get in that position and you start doing it, it is easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with that one more. You're never going to run the same call twice.
No, and you're never going to be, oh, I got it right. Like and especially when you're starting out in that position, like
it's rough.
You have to be willing also, though, to admit when you're wrong to your people. Because if you just try to stand on something and you know you're wrong, they know you're wrong, and you're trying to stand on a decision that you made, well, you can stand on the decision because you have no other choice.
Yeah.
But also admit that it was the wrong decision.
Yeah.
At the same time, and you gain a lot more respect that way.
I think that it was, and a big thing that I like to lay out with people, like, I don't know everything. I'm not an expert in everything. Like the fire service, there are so many specialties. It's so vast. There are so many things that you could be like really into that not everybody is going to be really good at everything that we cover. So it's like, I tell people, I don't know everything. Like I have a guy that is really good at this, and that's who I lean on whenever we have to do this, And I think that it's important to know who those people are and be able to use them where they're like really strong at. And then those people are also really good at teaching their weird thing to other people, like with me with ropes. Like, I love ropes. Everybody knows that. Tyler Prater, he used to tell people that I was the closeted rope nerd, and I'd be like, whenever it comes to ropes, I'm definitely not in the closet. Everybody knows. Like, I'm all about it.
Fully out.
Fully out of the closet
he is fully
when
out.
it comes to the rope stuff.
Starting to think his ropes deal here is more like it's starting to form into a fetish. It's kind of freaking me
Ask
out.
Allie. Don't ask Allie.
If you knew how much I'm not going to say that.
Don't ask Allie.
I won't say it on the podcast because then it's recorded. But if you knew how much money I spent on ropes, my wife's listening. Like, I don't want her to know. Like,
she's watching.
She probably has a rough idea. But if she actually knew, she would want to know why she doesn't have a better wedding ring. It's because I have a bunch of rope stuff. So,
well,
sorry, babe.
Hey, she got to meet Herman. She should be good for a while.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's true.
That was
Super
at
jealous.
the
I didn't get to.
that was the Junior Fire Academy.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah,
that was a good time. I got to talk to him. So, dude, honestly, for a guy who plays a firefighter on TV, I'd put that guy on the truck any day.
No shit.
Because he goes to enough stuff like that he actually like as far as I'm concerned, he's one of us. Like, he's a fireman. Like, he goes to the stuff. He has his own gear that he wears whenever he goes around doing that kind of stuff. He'll put on an air pack. He crawls around, does stuff. Like the day that we were there, we were cutting up cars. He was out cutting up cars with the kids. at the junior academy. It was
That's
awesome. Like,
cool.
he's a solid dude. Like I would 100% take Herman and put him on a real fire truck and be like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
let's do the stuff.
Speaking of Sullivan Junior Fire Academy, I actually went through that as well. I've got Nick Villa and Nick White from Sullivan coming up to do a podcast episode with me about the Junior Fire Academy in October, on October 4th, I think. Those two pretty cool guys from what I understand. Nick was one of my instructors. Nick White was one of my instructors. The other Nick, I don't know all that well besides podcast stuff, but I'm excited for that. But I think I was really jealous. We were in Tennessee when you got to meet him.
Yeah.
I was like, God, I hate you, Josh. And then I see now I got to go. I'm like, what the hell? He could have took one of us.
Yeah, Taylor was pretty.
Sorry,
she was
pal.
jealous. She wanted to be a junior for a day and go down to Sullivan.
It's
Just for
funny
one
how that
day.
worked. Maria said something about, I want to go. I wanted to go more than she did. I was more of a fangirl, but it's cool to be able to sit in your house and watch TV and think, holy shit, I literally trained with that guy.
Yeah, and it was like I just had like a conversation like just with another dude.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Chicago Fire. You know, it's
yeah.
like it's like I'm a backdraft geek. Like that was my movie growing up. I love the show Emergency. I have every season on DVD.
So do I.
But like Chicago Fire never really did it for me. Allie loves it, so she was like all about it. But like to me, like it was just like
Maria.
it was very cool. Like I don't want to like downplay it too much. It was awesome, but it was just like oh hey, how you doing? And then like I gave him a pair of safety glasses because he didn't have any.
How did that make you feel? I feel like you want me to ask you how that made you feel.
It was cool. I was like, oh yeah, sure, here we go. Like I got some in the truck somewhere. I don't.
Just hold on. Hold on. Just shaking. That's what
I
would
guess if you're that unprepared, I'll give you some. No, it was.
Aren't
very
you like a millionaire? Shouldn't you be able to afford a pair of glasses?
cool. You'd think.
But when you're,
I don't want to divulge too much, but he did tell me that he thought he was getting fired from the show. I forget what it was over. I don't want to say too much, but he was like, "Oh, I thought I was getting fired," you know. And he did tell me all about it and
Great.
everything.
NBC is going to come after my podcast now because
So, good luck.
we killed the Indian Chicago Fire. Well, we know if Herman dies, we know why. Thanks a lot, Josh.
You're welcome.
Anywho,
Heard it here first.
Yep. He did not get fired. So at the time,
that's good.
at the time, he was fine. So.
Yeah, he's still on there, I think.
for now.
For now.
I will give Chicago credit fire, Chicago credit fire. Good lord. Chicago Fire credit though. Out of all of the newer shows that are out, they are the most realistic.
I'm going to disagree.
Really?
Yes, 100%.
Here we go.
And why is that?
Tacoma FD.
Oh my lord!
It's a bunch of idiots hanging out in a firehouse. It's not about going to the fires. It's about the firehouse itself. And that is a lot like a real firehouse. It's just a bunch of dimwits that can't count or read that are just hanging out in a firehouse all day.
Waiting for an alarm to go off.
Shenanigans.
Wait a second.
You guys remember the show Rescue Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Like their
That's
firehouse
the OG.
Dennis Leary? Oh yeah.
That's
their
the
firehouse
OG
banner's
fire
pretty
show.
good.
Yeah.
Like their banner back and
It's on
forth.
Netflix, by the way.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the OG
It
fire
got a little
show.
weird for me.
Yeah, like-
I was like, man, no
Yeah,
problem.
there's some it gets out there, but
Oh, Muddy River has commented on the feed, boys. So whatever you've said, I'm sure they've heard. What's up?
fired?
What's up, brothers?
Both of us.
Have Josh tell you all about the training he did at the Silver Bullet.
with the silver bullet
Oh,
So we have one more.
if he wants me to tell the story, I'll tell the story.
So we have one more thing to go over in this section, but I will let you tell your story. We'll do that, and then we're going to break for commercial.
Okay.
And Jeff Romine says, I have the Code 3 trucks, fire station, and numerous emergency stuff, all original.
That's impressive.
So Josh is
That's not surprised. I'm not surprised that Jeff had
No,
that.
me neither.
Yeah, that is really cool though.
So Josh,
My kids would destroy it all. So.
Between Jeff, you, and Dave Pratt, you guys are probably got the Taj Mahal of those sets.
I don't have a lot of stuff anymore. Like I have a bunch of fire helmets. I've probably got like 20 old fire helmets. I kind of cut back on like buying fire extinguishers because I didn't have anywhere for them. But like I don't. Like I've got some cool stuff, but I don't have a lot of stuff. I have a fire truck.
just stick your hand up if Allie made you get rid of this stuff.
No, she
this
did
is
not.
a safe
She
space.
did not. She does get aggravated whenever I sneak a fire hat like on top of the cabinets in the kitchen because whenever I was single, whenever I was in my apartment, which I loved very much, I do miss my apartment. I had
Keep
all
talking.
My,
You might end up having to have one again.
I wish I kept it. No, but I had fire helmets like lined up on top of the cabinets. Like I had all my stuff out. Like my bachelor pad was actually like it was full like fire decor, fire extinguishers.
That's hard to believe.
yeah.
Shocking.
It was really awesome. It was a really good space.
Well, I'm gonna let you tell your story because again, Muddy River, shout out to them. They are the lead sponsor on our Firehouse Round Table here. So thank them so much. Thank you so much for sponsoring this. If you enjoy watching our idiot selves do this, you are a brave gentleman. I'll just put it that way.
He puts up with Josh and I on the regular basis.
I'll keep it simple. We were teaching ice rescue in Champaign. We went out and had dinner, and then we ended the night at a place called the Silver Bullet. So if you look and see what the Silver Bullet is in Champaign, Illinois, that should tell you all you need to know. So it was a rough night. I may or may not have made it to the second day of class because I was very hungover. So yeah,
it's weird. I almost did make it to a podcast episode one day because I was hungover.
But other people have done that. I'm not the only one. So like
it wasn't just
other
me.
People have done it. So
just not then.
There is a bro code. You're not supposed to throw other people under the bus.
I'm not going to name names. Like I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. But I'm not the only one that has done something like that. But I look at that as like we're improving relationships with the people that we're going and training with. So that's really important. That's
good enough.
Politics.
That's
how you get invited back.
The important takeaway is the relationship is very good.
So I'm gonna have to write down Silver Bullet, Champaign, Illinois, because if not, I'll forget.
You shouldn't Google that on your phone. Your wife will hurt you.
Oh, she loves me. She's probably looked up way worse. I'm just kidding, Maria. Please don't kill me when I get home. I love you.
She might actually kill you.
She might.
She's nuts, brother. She you see how she talks to me at the firehouse. I'm kind of like I feel like I need to go. You know how QT has some safe space signs on there. I feel like I need to go on there.
It's very entertaining.
I mean,
you.
For everybody, but you.
Well, so here's the problem though. You put her and Taylor together, and then Dylan and I are both domestically abused.
Yeah.
See,
she's going to file another HR complaint with
either of you guys. I really don't.
I mean, my wife's super sweet. Like she's like the greatest.
Hold on,
ever.
Let's talk about your wife for just a minute.
She's watching. Shut up.
I know
she's blowing up every post made by Midwest Mayhem has her commenting on it.
So she's now. I'm assuming I can't pay you now. I hope the pizza was enough because
the pizza was definitely enough.
Because I now have to pay her.
I'm kind of a slut for pizza, so yeah.
You said that the other night. Was the pizza selection okay? And I know it's from Domino's.
Domino's, yeah. I was good.
Domino's, yeah. Princess over here. Oh, your wife says watch it. So I don't know if she's talking to me or you.
I don't know what she's talking.
She'll probably text me here in a minute.
Probably you.
Probably you.
I mean, she's sweet.
Anywho, let's talk about Taylor for just a second. Yes, she is our official Mayhem hype girl, I'm assuming. She just kind of took that role on herself. I never promoted her.
Good for her.
So Andrew texted me the day and goes, I just watched these posts for her comments. So Taylor, you're doing a great job. Although Tyler's comment last night kind of scared me because I thought he was a little offended by us going back and forth on it. But he didn't seem like it, and he's still agreeing to sponsor us, so I guess he doesn't really care. Taylor's talking to me. Great. Hi, Taylor.
Perfect.
Good talking to you. So we have one more thing to go over, and then we're going to go to commercial break and use the facilities and maybe smoke a stogie or something. I don't have any, but that'd be cool to do with you guys, I think.
Yeah. You know what? You think Nathan will mind? We just slide
up in here.
Nathan,
we just won't tell him.
Nathan probably wouldn't care, but I think Craig, the co-owner of this place, would probably murder me.
Craig.
So let's not do that.
Yeah.
It's been nice knowing you.
He's probably like, yeah. If I go missing, it's not my wife. It's probably Craig or Nate. Well, I don't know. It might be my wife. Anyways, let's go over this last thing. We'll go to commercial break, and then we're going to come back and talk about some training and get some real heavy hitters going. So let's talk about experience versus certifications. This is where it hits hard for this area because you have people, like Josh said earlier, you have people that have done more stuff that have no certifications that are better firemen than people who have every certification to the 9th degree. We all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what carries more weight, years of experience, certification, or demonstrated? I cannot talk. I need to go to English class, okay? Demonstrated competency. I'm not very competent today.
I think you got to separate the fact that years of experience and years of service don't correlate. So you could be in the fire service for X amount of years, but that doesn't make that many years relevant when it comes to your experience. And then your certifications, as far as I'm concerned, until proven otherwise, it's just a piece of paper. Like, yeah, you went to a class, you got checked off on something, but until you put it to use in the real world and you've actually honed in on it and made it something that you can stand behind and other people can verify that you're, capable, then that's when it matters. And like you said, when people don't have any certifications on paper, well, I don't really care that much as long as they can do the thing that they're saying they can do.
I'm glad you said that because Jeff just commented again. Is it true certifications or certificate of attendance?
Yeah.
That's a big
So
one.
those are separate issues as well, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like
I
we're going to
really-
get into that with training.
I really think that I think that there's a balance. Like if we're going to be real with it, I think that going to certified training is important. Like I think it's important to go and get a baseline of information and then learn how to apply that. But then the experience that you get after that is what kind of builds that. That's kind of my thought on it. Just to keep it kind of simple. And like what you said, like years of service does not equate to experience necessarily, because we all know people that have been around for a long time that have never really done anything. Like they're just kind of there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, are they like squared away with everything? You know, well, probably not. So I don't think that that's always a thing. To kind of make up for like the lack of available like certification training, I think that if a department can put together a task book with realistic tasks that are based off of like JPRs that we're actually going to use, if they can train people to some sort of an in-house standard to where it's not like it's just Ricky showing up on the fire truck that got his gear last week or whatever, and he doesn't know how to use anything, you know. Then it's like, if you're doing that, then it's like, okay, well now we've got a guy that's came into the department. He's went through a program, preferably by somebody who is competent to teach that, and has got them squared away in kind of the basics of everything. I don't have an issue with that because it's better than the nothing that we have, right? In a lot of places, because there's some places where it's nothing. Like there are departments that have like a rookie book for brand new volunteers that is garbage. Like it's garbage, and the people that are teaching them are not really competent enough to actually deliver that information. Like they're not really getting good information off of what they have. So I think that it's a kind of, to round it all in, I think it's kind of, it could be a two-part thing, because we don't have a means of getting people certified training that's easy, right? It's like we've got Jeffco. If you and I get, like, the programs are expensive. Like it's not as cheap as it used to be. It's like your options are to go to Jeffco, go through Fire 1 and 2, or go to Three Rivers and go to Fire 1 and 2. And that's kind of it. Like there really isn't anything else. So I think that if you had the people that were there that were competent and squared away, that had something in house that they could do something. Like I said earlier, something is better than nothing.
I would agree with that. Now, Jeff did say everyone thinks that a certificate of attendance makes them certified.
No.
I can see where some people think that, but I agree.
No.
I'm going to need a certificate of attendance for this, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, if you look right over there on that wall, our listeners can't see, but I did give Frontline. I can make you a certificate.
Oh, yeah.
I'll even put a Midwest Mayhem sticker. Did you like your koozie I gave you?
I did, yeah, and I brought my big gulp, so
No, I don't have anything that'll fit that, but okay.
in there. But I'll take it with me. I'll use it.
So I expect if we ever drink beer, you boys have this with you.
100%, yeah.
Josh doesn't like beer though.
That is such a lie. I like beer probably a little too much.
Well, you know, if we weren't on live tonight, Andrew was actually going to bring us a little something to be able to sip on.
I have to go back
and
to
he's
work,
gotta go
so
back
I
to work.
couldn't,
Well,
I
that's
couldn't
lame.
partake. I mean, I'm not driving, so.
Well, that's good. So,
Kidding, Chief, if you're listening, watching. We'll do that.
yeah, in no way, shape, or form is there any alcohol pertained or tied into this podcast tonight, just so you're all aware. And another announcement I forgot to make at the beginning of this. All of these things that we're saying tonight are just our opinions. This has nothing to do with any of the entities we were tied with. So this is just a bunch of tistic friends hanging out, so to speak. I can't speak.
I think they got the hint. Like,
Yeah. I think that friends is a stretch. It's more of acquaintances.
Wow. See if I ever invite this guy back.
You will.
It's really just Hopkins, you know, because we don't get along. We don't
Right.
like each
We
other.
hate each other. That's why we're on opposite sides of the square table
Yeah.
that's not round.
Oh, is that why he was trying to hold my hand earlier? Okay.
Yeah. I figured they could see it on the camera. I was trying to keep it low key.
So, but low key. I haven't heard that word since like 2013.
Here we go.
Back when.
Youngster.
Go get on with the next part.
Okay, so we do have one more thing to do before we go to commercial break, boys. And when I say boys, I mean you and Josh, because Andrew and I are not tied into this. This is a special thing for just you two. Are we ready?
Sure.
You're gonna love this.
Or you're going to hate it.
Maybe.
I had nothing to
Either
do
way,
with it.
so when we decided to do this podcast episode, this is actually my wife's idea.
I don't have to take my pants off, do I?
No, but speaking of which, Dylan, thank you for not showing up in your birthday suit.
Yeah, I was going to, but
You didn't feel good and you were cold?
well,
Had sniffles?
yeah, there was that, and then the wife
She didn't.
suggested that
Threatened
I
bodily
probably
harm.
should.
You better choke up on your mic. Your wife will yell at you. She yelled at
I
Josh.
forgot. Yeah, she said no.
She said no. Okay. Well, so speaking of your wives, this was my wife's idea, and I really liked the idea. So we contacted your wives, gentlemen. And when I say we, I did. Your wife didn't get back with me till today. So I messaged her Wednesday, I think it was, and I was like, oh, she read it and never sent me anything back. I was like, well, I guess
She's really good at doing that. A real grade A slacker.
She doesn't do that to you, does she?
So I had your wives give me a couple questions that they want me to ask you guys right here on our live. Are we ready? Oh my God. They're actually pretty good. Andrew got to read them earlier before both of you got here.
Let's get this over with.
So Dylan, we're going to start with you, my friend. There's two apiece, just so you know. Even if that makes you, yeah. So Dylan, the first question for you: if your wife and your captain gave you an order at the same time, who are you listening to?
It depends.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna do the politics thing. So it depends on what they're asking me to do, and it depends on which captain and which agency we're talking about. We'll put it that way.
well, whatever it was you just did to that camera, your wife says, "Dylan, do not look at me like that."
I'll look at you however way I want. What are you gonna do?
You married him.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Andrew, I have a comment for you, my friend.
Okay.
Kristen says Andrew has friends. Do you have friends?
I got a few friends.
Like
you have a friend named
literally
Kristen?
like one or two.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So-
Josh and I hate each other, but we're closet friends.
We're gonna have to have just an episode talking about that, or like a portion, and maybe reveal
Did you
that we
say
actually
your
don't hate each
closet
other.
friends?
Yeah, we're closet friends.
I'm not digging into that. Anywho, is
We
that
hate
your,
each other in public.
is that your final answer for your question?
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it just like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
your wife's gonna kill you when you get home, but okay.
Depends.
Just so you know. Depends. Josh, let's hit you up. This one's actually kind of sweet. I'll give her this one. This one's very nice, and she loves you so much. Just so you know.
Okay.
How did you meet your wife, and what's it like having a spouse who also works in public safety? Do you enjoy having someone who understands the things you experience on the job and being able to understand what she goes through as well?
So Allie and I met through Facebook, and then
That's real St. Francis County for you.
yeah, it really was. So, well, here's a funny one. So Allie's dad, Steve DePriest, if any of the listeners were involved in the fire service in the earlier 2000s, Steve was he was chief at one time. I think whenever I met Steve, he was the assistant chief at Leadington. And Steve and I always got along really well. And I knew that he had a daughter, but I had never met her before. So whenever I met Allie, she'd been married, divorced, so she didn't have the last name DePriest. So she added me on Facebook after I came to work at Farmington. I'm like, hey, who's this, right? Despite the fact that I had a girlfriend at the time, and because I'm a horrible person.
You weren't married. It's fine.
Not married, so it's totally okay. So
We don't.
I'm not going to say what I was gonna say.
or we'll skip all the dirty details, but no,
good
there
Lord.
weren't any dirty details. So I
Okay.
ended up the girl that I was dating, she and I we broke up, and then I had the hots for her and everything, and we were talk on Snapchat or whatever, and we ended up.
Vacuums over at the car wash. That's what
what the
that's
heck
what
It's
that's
like sound like a tornado.
I was hoping it was
That's what
not
I
a
was-
tornado
that's
siren
what I
because
was
I'm like,
thinking.
great, one of my sirens is screwed up.
There is a tornado in my logo, just so you guys know.
Yeah. So anyway, we started talking and got pretty serious, and then we started dating, and then we were dating for about a year. We got engaged, then we got married, and here we are, however long it is. I know that our anniversary is sometime at the end of September. I don't know how many years it was or what day it was that we got married. Honestly, the whole event is kind of a blur.
Wow.
There wasn't beer involved, was there?
No. So
I can see Allie sharpening her knife as we
I can too.
So she and I, like, we've been together, I think, like 7 or 8 years. And then, so she works at 911, San Francisco County 911. She's a dispatcher there. I started out, my first full-time job in public safety was as a dispatcher. So at one point, I will say this because I think it's hilarious. There was a time whenever I was actually more qualified to do her job than she was, and I would frequently remind her of that whenever we would have pesky little arguments about like the horrible dispatching that comes out of 911 sometimes, because dispatch is terrible and everybody hates it, kind of universally. That's just kind of a thing. That's a joke. Haha. So it is nice to have. Well, and Allie, before we were together, she was a volunteer firefighter. She's an EMT. She worked on an ambulance. She did take a break from working on an ambulance. She got her license back. She went back to work part time on an ambulance. It is nice to have a spouse that understands what the job is. And then likewise, whenever she talks about all the things that go into like what her job is like, I can relate to those because like I have done that also. Kind of the downside to it is that they're really like, there's no hiding it though. Like if you go to a crap call and you just don't want to talk about it, like she knows what's going on.
Gives you your space and lets you be.
So, and then the other downside is because she has so much access to the information, I can't come home after sleeping all night and be like, oh, I'm tired because I got my butt kicked all night.
Oh, man.
Because she's like, no, you didn't. Like, you got up one time, it was at 9 p.m. I was like, I was actually still awake. But yeah. But yeah, I think it's, yeah. I think that's.
Is that true?
Did I answer that correctly?
Boys, you're looking at the wrong person. I was just told to ask you these questions.
My phone hasn't went off yet, so.
In no way, shape, or form am I responsible what happens to you once you get in your household door. Just so you know.
Really, once you leave that door.
Yeah, she could be standing outside just sharpening that knife. I can see it. Now I will tell you, Allie worked with my wife for a little while, and I think she kind of rubbed off on her a little way.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Josh. Yeah, appreciate that.
My bad.
Anywho, I think we're gonna go to a quick commercial break and let us do our thing for just a minute. Well, I think we're going to take about 10 minutes if it takes that long. Sit here and kind of stand up and feel my legs again. So, again, we are sponsored by Muddy River tonight for the Firehouse Round Table. That is a square, just so you all know we're where.
Firehouse Square Table.
The Firehouse Square Table. There we go.
I'm disappointed, by the way.
Tell me something people in my life haven't told me my entire life, and I'll probably...
Not bad. I'm just
You're just disappointed? So is my dad. That's why he left. Anywho, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, about 10 minutes. We'll be back. Stay with us. Thank you for tuning in. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat section. We're moving right along on time, so drop them in the comments. Your wife says yes, approved, by the way. So good job, Josh.
Stamp of approval.
Yeah. So hopefully you can play with some ropes later, Josh. Anyway, we're going to go to commercial break. Huge thank you to Frontline Armory for letting us break into their facility tonight and use it to our advantage to talk amongst all of you. Checkpoint Coffee and Canteen also sponsors Midwest Mayhem. Thank you so much for them over in Potosi. Again, Muddy River, thank you a whole lot. And Fire Lake Winery at Cadet. They got a beautiful place if you guys have never been there. You should take Allie there for dinner sometime.
I'll get right on that.
Allie, there you go. I tried. That's all I'm going to say.
L-tap or bust, baby.
I was going to say, you don't deviate, so
Dylan,
probably not.
Yours is not approved.
Oh.
Your wife just said it's not approved.
It was too generic. She needed something real.
Well, her question was generic.
Oh!
There was no context.
And with that being said, this is Midwest Mayhem, the Firehouse Square Table, and we will be right back. All right, and we are back here on Midwest Mayhem, the Firehouse Round Table, Square Table, whatever kind of table you want to call this frickin' thing. Josh, you gonna eat that mic here, bud?
I was told that one of the listeners was having a hard time hearing me, that I need to be closer to the mic. So I have decided that I will just hold it all the way up to my face for the remainder of the episode. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
I think
it smells weird.
Well, brother,
use your mustache to filter it out like the old guy.
That's probably why they can't hear it. It's because it's going through the mustache. And it's whatever.
What was on? You know what? I don't want to know. I was going to say what was on that mustache, but
hair.
I don't want to go there. Anywho, so
some of them are gray, some of them are brown. It happens with age. Your time's coming.
I still got a little while. I still got like 20 years. We're fine. So we have 2 more questions for you guys from your wives. Are you ready? How did we feel about the first round?
Easy peasy.
It depends.
It depends. Some of you guys are going to need depends for too much longer. McAtee.
Like I said when it started, politics.
Okay.
You don't ever really answer the question.
I would like to point out that the person that I know that craps his pants the most is like 20-something years old.
I know.
I won't. I won't name names.
It happens to the best
Is it
of us.
potentially my co-host's son?
No, actually, it's not. But he does work at Farmington Fire.
I don't know. You know what? I don't even want to know.
You probably don't want to know.
Okay, I think Andrew's going to get real hot and heavy in this next line of things we're going to talk about. Some training, because he's really hardcore on training, and he's a little weird. He admitted he was in the closet earlier, and
only with Josh.
Only with Josh, and I don't want to know. Anywho,
You're going to find out.
Let's get to these next questions so we can get down with some training. So, Dylan, we're going to kick it off with you again. This is question number 2 from your lovely wife, Taylor, who bullies my podcast page and loves to hype us up. So your question is, how do you separate your relationship at home from your role as a firefighter when your wife is also a board member for the department? And I say fireman, lieutenant.
Yeah. So that's easy. Most people have a problem with like separating roles in their lives. Like, for example, when you go into business with someone, you don't want to go into business with family or friends. Well, that's a very good piece of advice for the vast majority of the population. But for myself, like, it's like a switch. You know, you're this role today, right now, but when we go home, it's different. Like now that has been left at the firehouse. We're husband and wife. Everything's back to normal. Same thing whenever, I have worked for one of my best friends and for my dad, and leave everything at the job site and call him after work and be like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? You know, like nothing happened.
Let's go catch a beer.
It's just a separation that I'm able to do. For me, it comes pretty easy, and for her, it seems to be just as easy. There's not really any issues there anyway, so it's not really something we have to worry about. There are things that, like, there's a line in the sand as far as what I'm willing to accept as her husband and a member of the department. And if that line is crossed, then, you know, I'm going to voice it. But for the most part, it's not an issue. It's something pretty easy for me to do.
Well, good for you. You're a braver man than I am. I just let my wife go, and yes, dear. Okay. Andrew actually seen that the other night at the firehouse. It's quite hilarious. But yeah, is that your final answer?
Yeah, I mean, and she knows. I mean, it's easy. It's not something that it's really difficult for me to do, to bounce back and forth between roles and know what lane to stay in.
Yeah. Well, on a real note, congratulations on it. Some people just cannot find that work-life balance. So kudos to you for that. And I can't imagine my wife being a board member and me being my boss at the firehouse.
Well, really, it's not how we do things.
Well,
yeah. I mean, the chief is the boss. And
yes,
the board, they worry about things that are, they need to stay in their lane as well, right? Like they're there to take care of the stuff that the firemen don't have anything to do with the finances and things like that. There are things that they make final decisions on. Yeah. But when it comes to personnel and things like that, that's left to the chief.
So let me clarify on that. When I say boss, I don't mean any like chief duties. I mean more of like we really need this piece of equipment. We really need trying to, I guess, justify it. And I'm not saying it would be a problem. I just can't imagine arguing with my lovely, stubborn-headed wife about some things like that. Because I know she'd be like, yeah, no, you ain't getting that. Sorry.
So another thing about that is like, if it's a piece of equipment that is, say it's a gear for me specifically, okay? If it's something that has to go to a vote, she has to abstain from that vote anyway.
Yeah, like recuse
Conflict of
herself.
interest. Yeah, so like you can't worry about stuff like that because it's not really for her to say because it specifically has to do with me. If it's as a general item, a general thing, say I go to the board with the information, with the quotes, we need this for such and such. It's up to the board, like at that point, and her just being a board member, me just being a lieutenant on the department, bringing information to them, they make the decision on whether or not we can swing it or not. And if we can, we can, and if we can't, we can't.
Yeah.
And we just hold off until the budget allows, maybe the following year. We see what we can do, but there's no hard feelings about it. Deliberate and make a good decision based on the finances at the time.
I feel like that was a very justifiable answer. Very, very good job on that, sir. Jeff, again, Jeff is our number one commenter for tonight, just so you guys know. Many boards need to stay in their lane, but they don't.
Oh, they always try to overstep. There's always going to be people that try to dictate and control every little aspect of things, and that's not their job. And they need to understand that when they want to join a board and understand what their role is and stay in it. And that goes for anybody, anytime, and any type of role where you are trying to become a part of something that makes decisions for an entity like that. Just because you are elected into a position to make decisions doesn't mean that you get to dictate everything that goes down. That's just not how it works.
Your wife says, say it louder, so you must have answered that correctly, sir. Good job.
Gold star for me.
No sleeping on the couch for you tonight, sir.
You made up for it. Good work.
Yes, absolutely. So that was a good one, Josh. Are you ready for yours? Your wife put a lot of work in this one, just so you know. Oh, God. Whole lot of work. I'm very proud of her for this one. What is the funniest call you've ever been on?
Funniest call I've ever been on?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. She must have something in mind.
Well, she didn't tell me if she does.
You've got like 5 seconds to text me and maybe remind me. I don't know. There are a lot of calls that are kind of like...
I give her like 45 because we have a 30-second delay.
Okay, I'll give her some time. There are a lot of calls that there's legitimate humor to some of the things that have transpired. The funniest call... I don't really know. I don't know. Nothing's really like jumping out there. She could have done way better with a question.
Should we phone a friend?
Let's see.
Josh is currently checking his phone for his answer.
I'm going to call my wife.
Oh boy! Make sure you put her on speaker so we can hear.
We truly are phoning a friend here.
Hell yeah,
that's awesome.
You might have to hold it to the mic so all of our friends can hear.
Bob Special speaking.
You're an idiot. So this question, funniest call, is there something that you were thinking of?
The squirrel.
Oh. Okay.
Thank you, Allie.
It's funny, kind of. If it's the same call that I'm thinking of, the only squirrel call that comes to mind, it's been quite a long time ago. We get called for to check the victim of an animal bite, and we don't really get any information, and we're like, okay, whatever. So we get in the truck, and I was backstepping back then. It was before I was promoted.
Back then, and, you hear this?
And we take off, like we leave the firehouse, and we kind of like turn the corner, and we're driving up the street, and we're not running lights or sirens or anything. Like it's or it's like whatever. We just drive over there, and then we have like 2 cop cars like shoot out in front of us, like wee. Like screaming, and we're like, oh, that's weird. Maybe we should turn lights on. So we turn lights on. We get there, and the mom meets us in the front yard, and she's kind of like nonchalant. She's like, oh, he's around back. okay. So like I got the bag and walk around to the back of the house. And as I get back there, there's this kid standing in the backyard and he's holding his hand like this. And he has a live squirrel hanging off his hand. It is like bit down on his hand. And I don't know what to do. Like I go from like this is going to be kind of stupid to holy crap, like this kid's got a squirrel latched onto his hand. So
flipping through the manor. Where's it at? Where's it at?
He's just standing there, and I'm like,
cover this in the book of lies.
Yeah, like I don't know how to bullshit my way through this. I really don't. And the captain that I was working for, he stayed out front, so it's me and the driver. And I asked the kid, I like set the bag down and I like walk up to him real slow, like I'm sneaking up on him and the squirrel. I'm like, and I don't know what to do, so I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Ah." And so we like I talked to the kid. He's like I try to get it off every time I touch the squirrel, it bites down harder. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to kill the squirrel to get it off his hand. So I decide that like I'm gonna go get my gloves. I'm gonna get my structural gloves. So if it's not gonna latch onto me as hard as it is to this kid. So I walk back out to the truck, and the captain he's in the front yard, and he's talking to like a cop or the mom or somebody like that. I don't even remember. But I'm like, oh my god, it's bad. And he's like, what? I'm like, the squirrel's hanging on the kid's hand. And I get my gloves. And by the time I had walked back around there, one of the cops had taken like his nightstick. And I guess he like nudged the squirrel, and the squirrel like freaked out and it let go and it ran off. And then they kind of like Rodney King'd it. But they had good reason. They needed to send the squirrel to be tested for rabies. So they didn't,
had to have it,
that's legitimate.
That was my thought. Was
So-
you gotta have that.
Yeah. So they kill the squirrel. They put it in a box. Get closer. Your wife is going to yell at both of us.
I apologize.
Oh, that's way better.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that was pretty comical. There's been other kind of funny stuff. We had a day where we rescued like 3 or 4 cats out of storm drains on different incidents. So then it was
the same day?
on the same day.
I have a nickname for that, but I can't say it on the podcast because I think there's kids watching.
Then I was the cat whisperer after that. So
That explains a lot.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. One of them was actually, we had to get creative. It was in a storm, like in a small storm drain between 2 like box culverts on opposite sides of the street.
Mhm.
So we had to reposition the engine, and then we had one guy got in the box culvert on one side with a hose line, and then I was on the box culvert on the other side, and we sprayed water through it. The cat ran from the water and ran right into my hands. We caught the cat, and then we gave it to some kid that was standing by. They were like we want a cat. I was like, here you go, kid.
J-Mac,
Congratulations.
the real blank grabber. We'll leave it at that. We'll talk about it after the episode. So, are you confident with that story? Is that we phoned a friend? I would hope so.
Yeah, we called Bob's Fish House and we talked to Jorge. So I think
Jorge.
that should be it.
You know, Andrew.
Damn it, Jorge.
Because I will say that out of some of the nonsense that my wife does, whenever I call her with something serious and she answers like that, I'm immediately irritated. I'm like, because it's just like, it's all the time. It's like she has no other way of answering the phone except for that.
Yeah, I do the same thing to everyone a lot.
Hello?
I use a different thing, but I answer the phone maybe not the most appropriate way sometimes.
Your kid's school calling. Joe's whorehouse is Joe.
Well, if I don't recognize the number, I'm not just throwing that at everybody, but
I'm gonna start calling you from now on just to see what you can pull out of your ass.
It's probably gonna be the same thing. I'll forget I did it and I'll do it again. It will happen.
Good Lord.
I did real quick. I did have when Jeff Kreitz was running for sheriff, and I love Jeff to death. Jeff's an awesome guy. Whenever he was I think it was during Country Days during the parade, he had his thing went by, and I told Allie that I was going to vote for Jankowski for sheriff. She's like who's Jankowski? So then I ended up changing.
You mean Jablonski?
No, Jankowski, Johnny Jankowski.
Oh,
So it's just some made up nonsense. So I changed.
that was Washington County. Never mind.
I changed Chris Turner I changed him, and Chris and we've done dumb stuff like this for years. But I changed his name in my phone to Johnny Jankowski.
Oh,
So
shit.
if he calls me, it shows up Johnny Jankowski, and so it's like if I tell my phone to call Johnny Jankowski, it calls Chris Turner. It's worked out pretty well.
It's real great until you get into some shit at work and need somebody. Where the hell's this number at? It's in my phone. I swear.
No, because I think that how I have it set up, I think that if no matter which one I say, it's going to call that number. The one that gets me though, there is a captain at work that has for years called himself. I totally lost it.
Do we need to phone a friend again?
I might need to phone a friend. But he's used the same fake name for years, and I don't know how we've never taken a phone call at the firehouse for that name. If I say the name, it's going to make it really obvious. And
Okay, well, let's not do
I
that.
don't
then.
want to cause any problems.
So, Andrew, we have one for you, my friend.
Oh boy.
Shoot.
Kristen would like to know, you should ask Andrew about one like horses.
Oh boy, that's been a long time ago. Thank you, Christine.
Christine, I'm sorry. I've been
So many years ago, Christine and I worked EMS together for several years.
On the Dusty
she
Trail?
is a flight paramedic for Air Evac now. It's, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We get a call. I was on a previous department for a vehicle versus horse in the middle of the highway north of the area I'm from. Like, well, that's odd. One, the ambulance service that covered my area doesn't make transfers. So I'm like, okay, well, this has got to be either the ambulance district that I work for that's just south of us or another ambulance district. So I take off north, get there, and there is just shit everywhere. There are 2 horses laying in the highway.
Oh,
One
no.
still partially into the ambulance. Patient still in the back. We open the door, and I know the patient and I know the crew. She was driving. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Just chaos, right? Just shit everywhere, blood everywhere, guts everywhere, horses, parts laying everywhere. And ended up calling Air Evac.
Straight to the glue factory.
Pretty much. There was no glue factory. This was like, this needed a front end loader and a dump truck.
Oh.
Yuck.
Ended up calling Air Evac to come get this patient because our ambulance services wouldn't go to where this patient needed to go, and it was going to take too long to get another ambulance there.
Oof.
So that was one of our many adventures working
We had
EMS together.
a call in our district I was at work for. 2 horses, nasty mess, and they had to get a local guy had a tractor, came and spiked them to get them out of the roadway.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's nasty.
saw some pictures. It was definitely a mess.
Yeah.
I
Ambulances
I
and-
had one that was a triple fatality. And I won't give all the details, but it was a lady riding a horse that was struck by a car, and the horse killed the driver of the car. The horse was killed, and the rider were all killed.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's
That's a lot.
terrible.
That's a
at
lot.
night. So, but now that we've got
I'm
there,
glad that it's not just
yeah,
not just her and I that are experiencing
no,
horse fatality calls. That
Yeah,
makes
it
me
was-
feel
it
a
was
little
pretty-
better.
If you guys would just quit horsing around, we wouldn't have these
Right.
problems.
yeah.
That's no fun.
It's my dad's dad joke for the night, just so you guys know. Anywho, let's get into some training because I know Andrew's all hyped up for this one.
Yeah.
Dylan, your mom,
Your mom?
your wife.
Is she cute?
oh boy.
Your wife said the only one that isn't getting yelled at during this interview is Andrew.
What did I do to need to be yelled at for?
I think
Yeah.
it's because you don't have anybody at home
Oh.
watching you because you're lonely.
Because he's a sad, lonely old man.
You ever
with
thought
no
about
friends.
checking out Farmers Only? They're Farmer Bob with your
No,
horse
sure haven't.
problems. All right, so let's get into training. A very big thing here. Let's talk about quality of training. Okay, are we realistically training for the incidents we respond to, or are we just sometimes checking the boxes? I feel like this is going to be really deep. I want you guys to think about this for a second, and then I want you guys to answer.
Check the box.
Depends on what it is.
I think it's when we have good training, on the volunteer side, like we'll get some good training that does pertain to what we are going to actually see and do. And I can't say that it's not so much that way on the career side, but we have like more of a structured like breakdown of things that we have to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep continuing to hit everything. So it's kind of like just a rotating door of information that you're trying to just refresh on and keep up with. It's good because you're continuing to get that information refreshed in your mind. But sometimes I think there are areas that do get left to the wayside that really should be hit on more. And that's the same anywhere. Like even with the volunteer side, there are things that we should be doing more of that most people don't pay attention to because maybe it's not the favorite thing. Maybe it's not something that a lot of guys are jazzed up to do, but it's still important.
Like ropes.
Ropes
Absolutely.
can be extremely important because the moment that you need something like that and nobody can remember what to do, well, now you're up a creek without a paddle and you can't accomplish anything because you didn't train on it.
Or down under make me without a rope.
Yes.
I'll try to stop. I'm sorry.
Andrew?
By all means, continue.
I will say that I do feel like there are a lot of times where we're checking a box. I think that training does fall short in both my experience as a volunteer and as a career guy. But I think that there's a little bit of some just like built-in difficulty. You know, like we run around 3,500 calls a year out of one fire station with 2 engines. Sometimes doing quality training is just not a realistic thing. So something that I've kind of harped on, it's like we should be doing things that are relevant to like what we need to do. Sometimes it's for me, like it's as simple as getting something out that we don't mess with and just get it out and fuck with it and refresh on it. And then like we count that. But it is really hard to do like a really good company training whenever we can't take a truck out of service. And I understand why we can't. Like it's not an option.
Yeah.
But because of that, it's really hard to do a really good in-depth training because it never fails. Like we go to the training tower, we start messing with something, and then one of the trucks gets called. And then the other guys were kind of sitting there waiting for them to come back, and then another call happens. And then we have to lock up the whole facility, and we got to leave, and that's a pain. And then it's like, well, are we going back? It's like, well, we should try to. It's not always easy.
Now let me ask you on this. You say like, and that's why you're on duty, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So with you being on duty, do you feel that it's the fireman's responsibility because you guys are so busy and can't do training while you're on shift to try to make it a point to come in and work together off of shift to make sure you guys are trained and collective? So
something that we've started to do a long time ago whenever I went to Farmington part-time, we had a monthly night still, kind of like what a lot of volunteer departments do. We weren't really using it very adequately, and then it just kind of went away. So we've tried to revamp that and get that going again. So we've actually been holding just one time a month where we open it up for anybody that wants to come and do training. We're going to train on something, and we're going to figure out what that topic is beforehand so that it's not half-assed. So we did, for instance, with our platform, we have a rope system for getting a person off of an elevated area without having to put together a whole mechanical advantage. And it's based off of what the actual manual is from the manufacturer and some things that we kind of put together, and we figured out what works. So we spent a whole night just doing that, just playing around with that. And then they did some, I couldn't go to it. The last one, we did some hydrant stuff with some of the equipment that we don't really use a lot. We have a big kind of like a 4-way valve.
Mm-hmm.
Like a water seat.
So yeah, so we messed with that. Or the guys that were there, they messed with that. We skipped 1 month because we had hazmat technician
Oh, yeah.
in-house. So
Yeah, you guys just
like,
finished that.
we had that going, so we didn't want to put something on top of that class for everybody, so we skipped one.
I feel like as long as you're doing something, though, I feel like
yeah.
that's...
So our next one, we're actually doing some live fire stuff
Ooh.
because which it worked out pretty well because Muddy River has a Class A burn trailer, so we can burn pallets and stuff.
No.
Look at
So we're actually
that.
bringing that to the training tower. Our training tower is not for burning. It's really
Now, is that the old Mac Tower?
no.
No?
We have a piece of property. Well, the city owns like the whole airport, but we have a little corner of it where we have a 4-story like an electric pole style wood building that's wrapped in tin. It's nice that we have it. It's just kind of it's in a weird spot. It's hard to use with our
Yeah.
call volume and stuff like that. So we're actually going to take we have a hydrant out there, so we're going to take the trailer out there and we're going to hit every shift and do some fire stuff. And then we actually have it on a Cadus. There is I don't know what it's called on a Cadus, but I didn't think that far ahead. But there is I think it's
It's a state contracted.
it is it's
It's
a
one of the state
contracted
contracted classes. I don't.
It's at it's
Tyler,
it's-
if you're still listening, drop in
yeah.
the chat what the name of that class is, please.
But it's
I'll keep watching.
it's a 4-hour. We're gonna do fire behavior, thermal imaging, and like some water can stuff. So it should be good.
Sweet.
It's like a 4-hour hot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's awesome,
Simple.
man.
Yeah. So we've been doing that, and that has changed things a lot. I know the crew. I think yesterday they got some cars, and they were cutting up cars.
Sweet.
So that's always fun to do, but that's one that can be kind of tricky to.
Oh, yeah, because you got to drag all your equipment out. You got to make
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
the logistics of doing some of those things is kind of hard.
I always wondered how you guys did training because I mean it seems like there are days where it's boom you're back in service, boom you're out on another call, you have another call while you're still on that call. It's like good lord, man. Now how does the part-time thing work? Does that you guys have a part-time tone, right?
We do. So we have
Completely
two
off
sets of
subject.
tones. So we have part-time employees that at one time was basically like paid volunteers.
Gotcha.
So they're considered a part-time employee, but we would recall them like volunteers, so they had their own set of tones. Now, because we've opened up, whenever I came to Farmington, you had to live in Farmington. It was like a 5-mile radius of the firehouse. Now we don't have residency, so we have a lot of part-time people that don't live in the area. So a lot of the people that are coming in, we have some part-time people that come in and backfill whenever we have fires and stuff like that. And then the off-duty full-time guys is pretty normal. So we do have the two different sets of tones, and that's really it works for the guys that are like close that are still have pagers and stuff like that. Your pager just isn't going off nonstop, but 911 does sometimes drop the wrong tones.
Gotcha.
Be better.
I was curious about that. Your wife's gonna punch you in the face when you get home. Just so you know.
Probably.
Bring it
So,
on.
Tyler did comment, and Taylor actually beat Tyler to this. Taylor said Fireground Essentials Hot is the class on September 16th.
Thanks, Taylor. You rock.
And Muddy River said Fireground Essentials. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't think about the difficulty for you guys because you don't have any other full-time agencies around that can come in and cover.
that
But-
was, yeah.
Like, so what we do at work, we have 3 stations, so it's a little different. Like we have county trainings that we go to, and then we also have the which you're familiar with all of that, and we also have our company trainings that we do in-house, and we have our scheduled trainings. We go up to our engine house number 1, and all crews will go.
Yeah.
And you basically just fill in when the calls come out, whoever they're coming out for. We kind of handle things that way, and it seems to work pretty good for us. And there are some trainings where we have to send a couple trucks at a time down to do, like when we do our live burns and different things. And we'll have like a mutual aid company come in and cover, do something along those lines. Now, with you having part-time staff, I mean, it would be budgetary thing, but having them come in and staff the engine house and staff a truck for a truck to go run a training, they come back, swap out with the other crew and go on a training, would seem like that would help facilitate on-shift trainings.
Yeah. So, and one of the things that we have as we've expanded, there was a time where we could have a whole shift without an officer, and that's been a thing that we've had to change. So like making sure that there's somebody there that's that can make decisions
Yeah.
is really huge. And then we don't have like a buttload of people that are like banging down the door to do part-time at Farmington. And really it is kind of a gravy gig. You know, we do look for people that have either like a combination of certifications or a buttload of experience. Because the goal is to just get them to where they're going to work on a truck and cover for people. And we don't get a lot of those people anymore. And it's really hard. We do bring in people that have nothing, but we have to keep that pretty small. Like we can't have a whole bunch of people with nothing because it takes a lot to get them squared away. Like the one time a month where we can coordinate and do stuff in an afternoon, that has been a fix, and it's so far it's worked pretty well. I really have high hopes for that staying a thing, and maybe progressing into hopefully getting to do some more stuff.
Yeah, especially for the guys that are
and
into
if for anybody listening, or anybody that doesn't know, 3,500 calls for 2 engines out of 1 station is a lot of calls. Like that's very busy. I've been at conferences and talked with guys from fire departments that run the same number of calls as we do with like 3 and 4 stations.
Yeah.
And it's like, they were like, oh, well, yeah, like we got call volume's the same, and they've got way more people than we do. So
our call volume at work is about that. Fluctuates obviously, but I mean, it's going to
be different.
Somewhere in that ballpark is around 3,500 to, upwards to 4, so it's a lot more doable when you have 3 stations.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like we're doing pretty well with that.
I think I answered that pretty well, I hope.
I feel like it was a very good answer. Andrew, you anything to add to that topic? No?
Pass.
We're going to jump onto this next one. I know you're going to jump on train with this one. So, Unified Mineral Area Training. Why aren't neighboring departments training together more often than no? You know what? Let me just restart. I'm having a stroke. It's fine. Don't call Farmington Fire, though. That'd be embarrassing.
I'm off duty.
Yeah.
So, and he's off duty.
I don't have to go back for a while.
Great. I'm just going to die. Thanks, guys.
I don't work here.
Yeah.
So why aren't neighboring departments training together more often when they're expected to work together on actual emergencies?
So that is a goal for our monthly training, is to start working with the departments that are close to us.
So
now, why we haven't been doing that like on a large scale for a long time, I have no idea. I think that it's there are a lot of departments that have their meeting and training nights on the same nights, so I don't know why that doesn't happen. But I'm not anybody important at a different department.
So before you explode here, Andrew,
I'm not going to explode.
Frontline Armory would like you to wave at the camera. There you go, Nathan.
Okay.
Anywho,
they've seen your face for the first time.
Yeah. Jeff Romine says time and egos.
That's part of it.
Let's let it rip, boys. Let's hear it.
It's because everybody's kings of their own little fiefdom, and they think their way is the only way.
Yeah, and
unpopular opinion.
That's 100% like the largest hurdle to get over, and everything else seems like it could fall into place. I just mentioned the Jeffco trainings, right? Mm-hmm. Like they've
done that forever.
The county, they've done it forever.
A long time. They were doing it whenever I worked at there.
Yeah, I mean it's and there's also a tri-county, which when I worked at Cedar Hill as well. So when I was working there, they were part of that as well. So we would do both, and I thought that would be a great thing to implement here, and I've thought that for a long time. There's been times where we've done trainings with other departments, and we've got people that are willing to do it and willing to work with each other. And if we can do that, like, why wouldn't we? We're going to do it on a call, right? I mean, everybody's going to be getting called in to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't train together, how do you expect the call to go in real world? Like,
yeah,
it's historically a leadership problem.
About how it does in real life. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
As Frontline Armory just said, Nathan, the most dangerous phrase in the English language, because we have always done it this way.
Yep.
So because we've always never just trained together, why would we start now?
Because everybody's stuck in the 1990s and 2000s and thinks their way is the only way.
Well, we did it back in 99 that way. It's 2026. Much hasn't changed, we haven't got electric cars and, all the good stuff we have these days that are ungodly hard to put out. What really grinds my gears? This just drives me nuts. So say we go to a county training, right? So you have firemen, you have officers, and most of the time you have more chiefs than you do Indians in most cases, because majority of volunteer departments you get 16 captains, 15 chiefs. You know how that goes. Most of the time you get there, you're doing the training. My favorite part is when you look up and where are all the officers? I know we've all seen this.
Easy. Easy there, big
Sorry,
man.
little Joshy, you're about to taking on the chin here.
No offense, Josh.
That's okay.
Not you specifically.
You're always out there with us. So most of the time you're teaching the damn thing.
Sometimes.
So we'll give you that. Where are majority of the officers? Some, and this doesn't apply to all of them, but if this offends you in any way, you're probably part of the problem. I'm just going to throw that out there. Where are they all standing? They're all in a group, right? And they're not down there doing whatever it is we're doing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so they're
I keep forgetting
to be devil's advocate on that.
A lieutenant.
Well, yeah, but for all
Sorry,
intents and
Dylan.
purposes, just
Shit, I forgot.
that
Yeah.
helmet's black underneath. You know what I mean? So
Does that count below the waist too?
no, unfortunately. But when it comes to command officers, like I'm not talking company officers, I'm talking command officers.
Mhm.
There's a place for that. They should be at a command post running command,
Yes.
and
They-
they should
yeah.
be dealing with that.
They should be training in the role that they're going to
Yes.
be in.
Which is fine, but most of the time you see, and it's not just this area, it's all over. And the entire fire service, United States wide, we'll go with that. You'd see a group of people that are just, and they're normally officers. I hate to bash on them, and I say that because I was one. They're standing all in a circle, hee-hawing, G-jacking around. They're not paying attention to a lick of what we're doing.
Yeah, that's not
okay.
That's not okay. Like, it's, as a company officer, it's your job to be a working boss, right? You're supposed to be leading the guys into whatever task that you are assigned. If you're first due, you already know what your job is. You're giving your scene size up.
Mm-hmm.
You are relaying the information to dispatch to relay to incoming units, and then you're going to work.
Yes.
You're not necessarily taking command of the scene because you can't. Like you it's impossible to be doing both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But you've painted the picture. You've given what you've got and what you are working on, and you go to work. And the next in truck, essentially, everyone should have a standard of what they know to do X, Y, Z. If you are first due, second due, so on and so on. You know, somebody's got to establish water supply. You know that second due is going to hook in. They should start going, and if no command officers made it on scene by then, well then you've got fire attack in play. Somebody needs to go and start that primary search. Generally, it would be second due crew come in, do a primary search. But in real world and the volunteer side of things, you don't see any of that because most of the people don't even have a level of knowledge to know what they're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or enough people to do it.
Yeah.
That's another big
That's
problem.
the biggest thing, right? Like you may have one guy show up on a truck and, you know, he's going to have to pump the truck, get a line in
It's
play
doable.
somewhere. It's doable.
Oh, yeah.
Now you can go God mode, but
I was just getting ready to say God mode comes into play on that one.
we've got a deal where we call it the one man show. We have a nozzle that's specifically made where we can shove it through a window and open the bail on that thing and pump water into the fire room until we get another crew there to be able to make entry.
On a Monday afternoon, Tuesday afternoon, where are all of our volunteers at?
They're at work.
They're at work, right, at a paying job. So, unfortunately, poor departments like Farmington, page 36 is because we have
They
nobody
get their
else.
teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, they get beat down and used and abused for sure.
Yeah.
But we appreciate them. We really do. It's always comforting to know we at least have them coming.
Yeah. And
We appreciate
unfortunately for the potential victims in
Yeah.
house fire, if someone's trapped inside, like you're looking at most of the time, upwards of 25 minutes plus for Farmington to get
Absolutely.
dispatched and then get on scene.
If we're not on the first alarm, even places, and I'll kind of dog on one of the central departments in the county without saying name. There's a place that we have went to numerous times from Farmington to a municipality and have been first in to working fires at like 15 plus minute drive, and we're the first ones there.
And a trailer's what, 7 minutes these days is what they say?
Maybe.
I'm
Maybe.
like legitimate houses, like
Yeah,
houses in
houses
the
are
municipality.
The construction materials,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's like I've been on numerous fires that we've been first. Like we pull up and it's like, oh, there's somebody's here. There's lights, and it's some police cars and an ambulance, and we're the first fire truck there.
Or a POV. Let's talk about that for just a second. I'm going to cut you off. POVs.
I do it all the time, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
Well, there's a.
I also have.
Sometimes you're the
I got a bunch
exception.
of rescue stuff in my.
You
truck.
you have like the rope extraordinaire in the back of that thing.
Not all the time, but I do. I do typically have like some form of rescue tool for Muddy River. I have my own set of tools. And that I have used. I've used them on a fatality vehicle accident. Cut a guy out of a dead guy out of a car with my pickup truck before a fire truck got there.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that was
Good for
it
you.
It was pretty funny. So that's kind of my goal, is to beat people to vehicle accidents with entrapment, so I can do the extrication and then try to leave before anybody gets there, so they can be like, "What happened?"
Like the mysterious.
I want to be like the Batman of Highway
Like
67,
the pit crew over there.
but in a red F-150.
Show up, doors are off, patient's package. Like, all right, what's the deal here?
Wait a second. They just left him laying here on the side of the road.
He's not in the vehicle anymore.
So on the POV thing, I'm conflicted. If we talk about it like on a big scale, if there are trucks going and there are people, so like if you're a volunteer department that has numerous stations and you don't have your gear at like one station, you have your gear with you. If there are trucks that are going, I don't really have too big of an issue with it. It is really weird when you're the first one to show up at a house fire.
Yes.
And it's like,
And there's no trucks en
there's
route.
no trucks. Yeah,
Hi, I'm
that's
Tyler.
not okay.
I don't have a truck here yet, but I can stand here and comfort you till
Yeah.
our truck gets here.
Yeah.
So that's not. I don't think that that's an okay thing.
I don't either.
For some things, I don't think that it's too big of a deal. I think that it has to be regulated at like a command level thing. But I don't want to say that it's always a bad thing.
So-
or,
I
I
agree
think
with
it's
that.
call specific.
Yes.
yeah, I really
But-
do.
It is.
I think I was shooting more towards, let's talk about the people that are just POVers, period.
That's
Like,
a problem.
I can't drive a fire truck. I can't do this.
If you can't do any of those things, you shouldn't be going directly to the scene.
Bingo. If you can't drive a fire engine, what good do you do me on a fire scene?
Well,
Shouldn't you be worried about driving a truck before you
Or
drive?
pump a truck
or equipment. Like, what
Yeah.
are you going to do? And if you have no truck en route, the nature of the call, it gets dispatched out. You don't have a responding unit coming with the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
But in the amount of time that it took for you to drive to the scene versus go to the truck and get the engine yourself, or go to the engine
Yep,
house
that
and
right there.
get a piece of equipment and get the things you need. It's going to maybe it'll delay the response time a couple minutes, but
You then
you're not going to do any good. You show up with nothing anyway.
and nobody's bringing it to you.
Yeah. And not only that, but you're representing the department that you were with in a negative light, because now you're there going, I don't know, do it with my hands. I got nothing. I'm here, but I got nothing.
I'm glad you said that. You represent the department you're with. Now let's talk about the POVers and we all know that there's people around this state and other states that do this. I watch the Hefty page all the time. You see all kinds of funny
I
stuff.
love that place.
You see all kinds of funny stuff on there. But you know the guys that are on like 15 different departments. And then, let's see, I'm going to go respond to this call with this DSN. And then, this one just paged out. So I'm going to go with my other DSN.
Yeah.
I just, you get what I'm going after.
There's a lot of people that do, like, man, years ago, there was a couple individuals that were all bouncing around the county a lot, chasing calls and stuff. And that kind of stuff just really pisses me off.
Oh, me too.
At one time, there was some departments that kind of like they weren't taking people. Like if you were on, you couldn't be on multiple volunteer departments. So whenever I started out, there were only a couple of places where you could be like on two departments because it was such a problem in the really early 2000s.
Yeah. But now
I was still
it's
in
so
diapers.
common because the pool of people that you
I
have.
totally missed that one.
I was still in diapers.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up.
That's weird.
Right.
But anyway, the pool of people that you have now, it's so common to see people on multiple departments.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, good on you. If you're able to make a difference in multiple areas and be able to be an asset to the department that any of the departments that you are on, go for it. But I personally don't have the time for all that, and I've never really saw a benefit of being able to do all. I mean, if you're devoting every moment of your existence to that, that's one thing. And I used to be that guy where that was all I cared about, was just doing stuff with the firehouse, you know. And as I got older and I had more time and I started realizing that it can have a lot of negative effects, you've got to have other things outside the fire service that you focus your time into as well to kind of reset, decompress, and not just devote every waking moment to this thing, because it'll consume you. Like, some people can do it. That's fine. You know, there's some people out there that they do it and they've done it for years, and that's all, they're on that track. Personally, I found I couldn't continue to do that without having other things that I
Agreed. I done it too, and it wasn't
do
for me.
outside. Yeah.
It was not for me.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So Taylor has requested that you speak more. That we're chatty Cathy's.
I got yelled at for talking too much.
No, you were too loud.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think it was that he was too loud. It was that we were too quiet.
I'm sorry.
Frontline Armory, Josh, for you, says your bat signal could be a Halligan bar. That'd be neat.
So
Shining
we
in the
actually
sky.
we started our own stupid comic thing.
Oh Lord!
It started off, yeah. It never. We actually do. It was just like it was an AI generated like a cover of like a comic book, and it started off. It was me talking about like going to car accidents. I said that I was going to get like a Ford Pinto. And I was going to put all my rescue stuff in a Ford Pinto, and I was going to drive that to car accidents.
With
and
rotators on the top.
Yeah, like a single bubble gum line.
Yeah.
And then Brett Horton, like he was all about, you know, he likes Swiftwater stuff. He was going to get a jet ski and
Pull a jet ski with it.
So it was like Crash Man and something else. It was something.
Have you
stupid
guys
stuff.
ever watched that guy on Facebook, Ginger Billy?
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yes,
That sounds like
it's
some Ginger
just like
Billy
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Jeff Romine says, when Roger Turner was around, he and I organized Firefighter 1 and 2, done it for numerous years. We rotated classes between all the departments, and it worked great. Can't get that done now. He said, been there, done that with one person many times, about the showing up just one person on the truck.
Yep.
And he also said, I teach a class called the 5-man FD, so I can imagine that's probably pretty good. Jaden Blue says, hello, Uncle Dylan.
What's up, little snake?
So, and then Frontline Armory said this is a kind of a double-edged sword with the POV thing. So I feel like we're getting some pretty good responses out of these people.
Yeah, and to kind of go back on that, like I was saying, like if people are going to get a truck and it's like if it's a chief officer going to a call, and we like to go back to the like everybody has their own little spot. Like if you have a like people going to get a truck, I don't have an issue with the chief from the neighboring department going to the mutual aid call. Because one of the things that we lack on is like having a good command structure. In instance, we're not filling out command roles.
Well,
We're half-assing that, and it's because we don't have the people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's like I don't have an issue with that, but there also needs to be a level of being able to cover your own crap while somebody else is gone. Because there's too much of that. Like, oh, well, we'll just leave. Well, they only called for one truck. Well, we'll just take two and we'll leave our district completely uncovered.
You see that a lot, too.
I don't like that.
At work, we have chief officers that are on neighboring districts' alarms that say maybe our engines aren't on the alarm, but they'll go for command staff.
Yeah.
That's a need. Like sometimes
pretty
you
cool.
need that.
Yeah.
And especially for, you know, we don't utilize things enough like having divisions or having a different command staff structure on each side of a building or something like that, or having it set up to where it's easier for the IC to be able to have somebody having eyes on each individual operation going on.
Yeah, instead we have like an IC who's doing operations and safety
Yeah.
and
So
everything
15
else, and it
different
does
other
not
things.
work.
So you said there a few minutes ago, we don't do enough IC training. Where should our ICs be?
They should be in their rig, in their buggy.
Not moving.
Yeah.
What does every IC in this area do?
Run around the yard.
Run around the yard,
They're doing laps.
which is wrong.
But in this area, I can see why they do it.
Oh yeah.
So I will say that I don't necessarily have an issue with them being outside the buggy as long as they stay in one spot.
Yeah.
But they don't do that.
No. Well, no, they're not doing it. But I'd like just in general, like if they're not going to be in the buggy, if they're going to take like a static spot at the front yard or on a
They
corner
need
or
to
something like
stay
that, like staying in that spot. Like I don't
Yeah.
have an issue
Gotcha.
with that.
Where you can find them for incoming
Yeah.
because that's how freelancing gets started.
Yep.
Because people show up and they don't know who to talk to,
Yep.
and they just go, "Well, I see this needs to be. I'm gonna go do this."
Yeah.
So I do need to clarify something. I misread that. I apologize, Jeff. Roger organized those classes. Jeff had nothing to do with it. He said he just wanted to clarify that. So we didn't take any accreditation from the late Roger Turner. I've heard a lot of stories about that man, and from what I understand, he was like the fire god of this area.
Yeah, he was not. He was already out of it whenever I came
Gotcha.
around. So
I've heard a lot of
I
good
had
things about
I had the true honor of working with his son Chris Turner. So
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that was his son.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
yeah, Chris.
Love peace.
He's
chicken.
not watching this, I guarantee it. But Big Daddy T, I love him.
So let's get it. Josh, you're going to have to get going here in about, 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, we can push it out.
Okay. So,
He's committed.
I'm just gonna go back and go to bed.
okay. Well, so let's go. Let's hit
Fingers crossed.
Let's hit some training culture, and then we're going to kind of talk about the balance between volunteer and career, the culture between that, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. I do want to say, and I'll let you guys chime in on this real quick. If you guys are enjoying this table of shenanigans we got going on here, make sure you let us know in our social media when I'm going to make a post for some reviews and see what we can get. I'm sure Taylor will be the first one to comment on that.
I hope she is.
I'm not even gonna read
I
it.
hope she is.
No doubt.
I say as soon as she posts it, you need to just delete it.
Oh,
Somebody was too loud. Somebody
Wow.
was too quiet.
Yeah, she pointed out that I proudly sponsored by. I had an N in it. She goes, "What the hell is that word?" So I had to fix that midstream. So yeah, we got that fixed. Anywho, if you guys are enjoying this podcast episode and would like us to do more, I'm having a hell of a time, and I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So I'm
this
definitely
will be
willing to
great.
come back and do it and talk about some more shit with the fire service and dogging on each other and other people, and you know how that goes. So if you guys like this, let us know. Let us know right now in the comments if you like it. We'll come back and do more every other month or so. And yeah. So let's get into training culture. Why can we get people to show up for calls, but we struggle to get them to show up for training? This is a really big thing. We talked a little bit on this earlier.
It's not sexy.
Well, I'm pretty sexy.
Training's not sexy.
Yeah.
You've got a culture problem, and this isn't local to this area. This is fire service wide. Not every department or agency, but a lot of them. You have, no offense to the two people sitting across from me that are officers, but you have a lot of company officers that think because they're company officers and because they've done it a couple times, they don't have to train. Everybody sees that. So my boss, who I've been working for a few years, has a saying that perception is reality. When I first started working for him, I didn't quite understand it. It took me several years to really figure that out as I've promoted a couple times, senior non-commissioned officer now in a management position, started reading more books, got into the weekly scrap, got into some of the more podcasting stuff, listening to podcasts. And your perception is that if officers don't have to do it, your firefighters don't have to do it. And when your firefighters don't think they need to do it, it's not important. It doesn't matter. They don't show up for training. That is a leadership and a culture issue. And I'm sure that's going to rub some people the wrong way. And quite frankly, I don't give a shit.
Well, that's yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
should.
I mean-
If you're having any bad feelings about it, well, you have guilt for some kind of reason, and
Bingo.
like you lead by example. That's what leaders do. Like you become a leader not because of a title or anything else. It's because the people that are there are already looking to you for the answers, and they're already making you their leader, whether you have the title or the fancy colored helmet or not. They're going to follow that person because they're giving them the example to follow, whether it be good or bad.
Right.
But that's who they're going to follow.
Exactly.
So if you are going to be a leader, then you have to lead. You have to do the things that you expect of the people that are below you.
Leaders should lead from the front, not the back.
Yeah.
You have to put in that sweat equity with your people for them to trust you and follow you.
I'm one of those people that if you're gonna teach me training, I'm all for learning. I don't know everything. None of us sitting here know everything. But if you're going to sit there and teach me training and teach me how to do something, you better get your ass down there and you better do it with me. If you can't get down there and do it with me, I know this is kind of a double-edged sword here. Some people get pissed off when I say this, and I don't care. When you're teaching a training, they can't get down and do it with you if they're instructing you. I don't agree with that. I don't know how you guys feel.
Why can't they? If they're instructing it, they should be the ones down there teaching it.
I agree.
You demonstrate the skill.
Yeah.
And then
Bingo.
you allow the student to perform the skill.
Yep.
And then you give them feedback on how you thought they did and help instruct them until they get it correctly.
Correct.
Exactly.
That's the best instructions that I've ever had, have been from guys that brought me up in the fire service. I was very fortunate with the group of guys we had when I started, and the guys that just
The BAMPs.
had their passion was there. And
Leadwood Bamps.
yeah. I mean,
remember those days.
It's true. Those guys were, I looked up to them. I still do. They're the reason why I was able to get where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never had the passion that I have for it now without having them built that foundation long ago. There's no way I would have been able to follow through and make it to where I am. That, along with my wife pushing me to make this thing a reality of making a career out of something I never thought I'd be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to have guys like that pushing the guys who are coming in the door who know nothing and keep that alive, because once you lose that, it's extremely hard to get back.
You know what I really love to hear? The people who will justify that you can't teach training and be doing the training at the same time. These are also the same people. I've done that. 30 years I've done this. I can teach you how to do it. I don't need to get, no, you should be getting your ass down there and doing it. I don't care if you've been doing it for 40 years, 50 years. You can lose your training every day you don't do it. You should train every day that you have the opportunity, in my own opinion.
So Chief Rob Ramirez says that if you're not training, you're not progressing. And if you're not training, you're degressing. So every day that you're not doing something, you're losing that skill. You lose a little bit of that skill.
I want to throw something out too.
Mm-hmm.
If you should be taking it upon yourself to be learning things within the craft, you shouldn't be totally reliant on somebody else. When I was a fireman, if I was bored at work, if we didn't have something going on, I would get shit off the truck and I would fuck with it and I'd learn how it works, or I would research something. I would take it upon myself to do stuff. And I don't really see that a lot with other people.
Nope.
No.
And one of the things that I struggle with is being a nerd about fire stuff. I've never wanted to do anything else. When I was born, we lived in Richmond Heights, and down the street and across the intersection from us was a firehouse. And I can remember being a very little itty bitty kid and his fire truck scream out of the firehouse. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but that's what I'm going to do. And here I am. And I've been doing it for quite a while. I've never wanted to do anything else.
Was that back when the horses were still attached to them?
Yeah,
That would have been cool.
It was cool. It was cool seeing the guys try to get the horse, get the horses all
Bucket Brigade.
pitched up. Anyway, I get irritated with people that are involved in the fire service that they don't really seem like they're actually that interested. They're just there, it's
just a
like the
job.
t-shirt wearers or the guys. It's like
job.
it's a job, it's whatever, and they go to work and it's anything except for work. I can go to the firehouse and talk about fire stuff all day long.
Well,
And that's that. I love it. I love it. So I actually have to dial it back because I get irritated with people that aren't like that.
yes. Bingo.
But I will say that in some organizations, and I'll use Farmington as kind of an example. There are a lot of things put on because until recently we didn't have a lower level chief. It was the chief and then 3 captains, 3 lieutenants. So the captains and lieutenants absorb a lot of the administrative duties.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times where it's we didn't get to do the fun stuff because we have the not fun stuff that we have to do. So there were times where it's I have to do this. And I don't want to put that as an excuse, because it is way more fun to do the fireman stuff than it is to do the officer stuff.
For sure.
You guys can vouch for that. It's not fun. It's a necessary thing that has to happen within the organization, because as much as we don't like to think about it like a business, it is a business.
Mm-hmm.
We are responsible for taxpayer money, which is a lot of responsibility. So making sure that everything that's supposed to happen does happen is very important. But whenever we get the opportunity to go and do the training things, it's fun. Like that should be a time where we get to have fun doing the training. And that's where I really like doing the teaching for Muddy River and going and teaching classes, because it's like I'm away from all the things at the firehouse, and I get to go and I get to be involved with people that are wanting to learn something, and it's a lot more fun. Sometimes the in-house training stuff, it can be exhausting within kind of how it works for us. On the volunteer side, it's kind of, for us, we don't have people that are showing up to really do really good training. It's kind of oh, show up. Oh, I was here on the training night. They put their name on the thing and they get the $7 or whatever it is to show up and come to training. But then whenever they have an actual training, people don't show up.
Yep.
And
See that a lot.
It is insanely irritating. I'll be honest, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. I really don't know what the fix is. I have kind of a halfway thought. I would be afraid to even put it out there in the YouTube sphere because I wouldn't know what would happen with it. But it would make a lot of people unhappy in the beginning. But it would be necessary for a change, and that's beneficial. That's what needs to happen.
I think I smell what you're stepping in. Yeah, it's something I've thought
about. Is it horse shit? Because we've talked a lot about horses.
It could be.
Well, yeah. I mean, it might smell a little bit like that for some people, but it's.
I'm glad you picked up on that.
What it is if you don't have a standard and you don't have a structure, people just fall off. And if you have a structure that really speaks to people who want to be involved and want that thing that gives them that sense of purpose, because it feels like you have to earn it every day, because you do. If you don't have to earn it, it doesn't really mean shit. So you got to make it important, and you got to make it worth earning.
Yeah.
And then people will stay and people will come.
Just because you've got a different colored helmet on that doesn't say firefighter doesn't mean that you don't have to earn that every day. And that's where I think a lot of this problem is. People get in those positions and they sit there for years and years.
Become a chair slouch.
Go from a company officer to a chief officer, and they're still sitting there and they're taking the same bad habits with them. And that eventually becomes a department issue.
Yeah.
Not just it's isolated to one or two people or a certain group of people.
Yeah, it's like a cancer. It spreads.
Yep. Yeah. Now, one thing that isn't fair, you have a little girl at home. You have two little boys at home. How is it fair for me for you to work your ass off on training and you to work your ass off on training, but me and him to sit here and shoot the shit, not pay attention, you two get hurt in a fire, say, we don't know what the fuck we're doing? How is that fair?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with being fair, but it's also our responsibility to make sure that you guys know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And if we were talking within the volunteer fire service, if it were up to me, the people like that, I would get rid of them.
Me too.
I would
absolutely cut
if
the
it
dead
were
weight.
If it were up to me, if I were the guy making the decisions, I would set a standard. I would hold people to that standard, and anybody that fell short of it, I would give them an opportunity to make up for it, but it would have to be a shit or get off the pot thing.
Glad you said that.
Because whenever I started out as a volunteer, you were expected to be there. You were expected to show up. You had to run calls. You had to come to trainings. If you didn't, they got rid of you, and that's kind of gone away.
That goes back to our staffing problems.
Yep.
And then we have these, I think I'd said it earlier, we have places that they'll go and they'll do PR. They'll do as much PR as they want, and then they're not getting out and running the calls that they're getting dispatched to in an alarming rate. At a rate that the public should be what the fuck is happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people haven't, but then it's well, we're doing all this PR. We're doing the PR. If it were up to me, within those places, we wouldn't even do the PR, because all you're doing is selling a lie. You're lying to the community about what they're getting, and to me, that is not okay. That's not okay at all.
Fuck no.
Until you start showing up and running the calls and doing the job, that's what's important. PR is great as long as you're doing all the other stuff. If you're just doing the PR and you're not doing anything else, you're just selling a fucking lie. And
Yep.
Well, it's a slap in the face
Shameful.
to John Q. Public because
it's a slap in the face to not just the public,
yeah,
it's a slap in the face to the rest of the fire service. It's like, oh yeah, well, we're the same as everybody else. Like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not. You
You're a
show up
t-shirt
and you
wearer.
drove the truck. Cool for you. But whenever something bad happens, you don't know how to do the job. And it's not okay. So if it were up to me, those people, I'd just get rid of them.
I'm glad you said that because it's today's society that has caused these problems.
yeah,
People are
it
so
is.
soft
They are.
that there are literally fire departments that are literally worried about lawsuits from people. If they get rid of them, there will be lawsuits.
That's why we have lawyers.
That's why we have lawyers.
Yeah.
That's
But
why we have HR departments.
I'm surprised that there haven't been lawsuits from the lack of response. You know, like, that's
sure.
it's.
Well, yeah.
I would be more worried about that than anything.
I agree, but I mean, there are legitimately departments that are worried about lawsuits because they offended little John Q over there about, oh, we no longer feel your services are providing us of any kind of benefit, so goodbye.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
And used to, that was like
Used to is
when
buy
I
a seat
got
at the
in,
door.
that's how it was.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you couldn't hold up your end of the deal, well,
You were
we don't
gone.
need you. Like,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Mhm.
You had to keep that going and keep that momentum moving forward. Otherwise, they didn't need you and they didn't want you. And yeah, the staffing problem is a lot of the issue with why people's mindsets have changed. But I think that's what corrupted everything to begin with.
It is.
Yes.
Because I think that I may be wrong because of the way society is today, but if you made that thing worth being a part of and you had to earn that every day and you had to put in the work and do the things you're supposed to do or you got the boot, I think more people would be into that than what I think it would have the opposite effect of what people think.
Yeah.
Like,
You
yeah,
have more
See,
people into the
But
job.
Yeah.
that goes back to the whole change thing where we're scared to see what change really is.
Change is necessary. It's going to happen.
Agreed.
You know, like the old saying, like we don't like the way things are. We don't like the way
change.
that they're
Yeah.
the way that they're. But we don't want the change either. We don't like the way they are. We don't want the
want
change.
to change. You have to-
Change
you have
is
to
necessary.
change.
Like it has to happen. And we're kind of. I feel like in St. Francis County specifically, I feel like we're at the cusp of this just horrendous failure of the fire service. Specifically the volunteer fire service. So because I'm seeing it there more than anywhere. It's just like we're going to get to a point to where somebody is going to get killed because of a lack of response, whether it's somebody from the public
Like
or
a
somebody
training.
from the fire service, and it's going to be eye opening, and people are going to be like, "Well, what the hell have you guys been doing?" There's
Where's
not
all
going
of
to be
our
a good
money
answer.
going?
Yeah, there's not going to be a good answer. But then it also falls on not just the departments, like it falls on their governing bodies, the municipalities, and the
boards.
the elected members of the boards, and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
It-
It's on them too.
It's a trickling effect.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if you
and I'll say it. Hold on, real
Go
quick. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I blame part of this on Mineral Area College for shutting down the fire academy. I stand very firm on that. I've seen a lot of this has been a trickling downfall since the fire academy shut down. There's nowhere for people to go to get training, and because of that, we're not sending people to get training, and they're just becoming stagnant, and it's just falling apart, and it's shameful. So shame on you, Mac. Do better.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Hot take.
I agree.
Hot take. Mic
Yeah.
drop.
Mic drop.
It's getting good in here. It's getting good.
Well, gentlemen, I say we cover maybe one more topic, and I tell you what, we're starting to run out of time. Lieutenant McAtee here has to go back to the Farmington department
Yeah,
and
gotta go back to work.
go back to bed because
Go
he's
to bed.
pawpaw. And did I say
Day
that?
one. It's day one, man. 48s.
Oh, you're a hero.
Oh no.
So I want to talk. I tell you what, I'm gonna let one of you pick what this next. You pull one thing out of this next thing, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this last thing. We're gonna kind of do our wrapping up ceremony, and then I tell you what, we've had so much fun tonight, and I think our listeners would agree with this. I think we should come back and do another one.
Yeah, I'm down.
You down?
Yeah, I'm
you
down.
down? We down
I'm
to
down.
clown?
As long as we can
Down to
get
clown.
our schedules lined
Yeah,
up.
right. That
Yeah.
seems to be the hardest problem.
Let me tell you, folks, you guys should be thankful how this night is even happening. I was so worried about getting these guys together because of their schedules conflicting. It was unreal. But with that being said, let's pick one more topic. Let's get into one more thing because I feel like that last discussion was getting really good. And then we're going to wrap her up and we'll get back into it next time we come back to the mics. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Again, we're sponsored by Muddy River Training for the Firehouse Square Round Table, and
We
and
really got to work on that.
yeah, maybe I'll go rent a table next time for an actual round table. But you see how much shit I have here, so it's kind of hard to put it on a round table.
Just get a really big one.
So,
Yeah.
what do you guys think? What are we going to pull out of this next pot we got going? I'm gonna let you guys pick.
I have a hot one out of here, but I don't know. It's the fireground assignments. Like that's been a
Let's go
topic
for it.
me because I think
Send it.
that is an easy enough thing that even a volunteer, and I say that because whenever I was a volunteer at Perryville Fire Department many years ago, they had laminated tags in the fire truck that told you exactly what your job was depending on where you're riding at in the fire truck.
I think that's a fantastic
It's
idea.
not a bad. That's
Yeah, that's a fucking good idea. Of what that is.
It could be so easy. It could be so simple. And it's something that it's like people show up and like even in like the arrival order of apparatus, like somebody needs to do water supply, right? Why is that such a complicated thing?
Why is that a question?
It's always a clusterfuck.
You know, and it is kind of different for us because like we're kind of doing our own thing at Farmington. I get like not everybody can do like that because not everybody's showing up with like 7 or 8 guys all at once. But like even we have a thing. Like we have a thing that works for us that could be like we're not showing up with like all those dudes on like one truck. Like we're spreading it out. So like the first in engine is 3 guys ideally, and it's like obviously the driver's pumping the truck, right? That should be pretty simple. First engine, like the driver's pumping it. The officer and the backstep fireman. Officer does the 360, does their side, you know, all the obvious shit. Backstep guy pulls the line. They go to the seat of the fire. They start attacking the fire. The ladder truck for us shows up, and then they're either going to search, they're going to vent. They have to be kind of fluid depending on what's going on. And then the second engine is establishing a water supply. Once the water supply is established, the drivers and the officer or firefighter on those trucks are putting on gear and they're going to work. Like they're not just standing in the yard. Like they're going to have something that they're going to do. So on my old shift, what we would do, we would typically the second arriving officer would search the opposite division of wherever the fire attack crew is at. So the officer on the first engine and the backstep firefighter, they take the nozzle, they go to the fire. Whenever they get to where the seat of the fire is at, the nozzle fireman starts attacking the fire, and the officer searches out from the fire because that's the highest risk of where a person would be.
Correct.
At. That's the most risky spot for him. The second arriving officer, they would search the other division. Like so, we would go. Like I would go to the upstairs and search, or wherever, and we would rapidly do. We made searching a priority. Like that's a big deal. Like we have to search.
Yeah.
And then we would just kind of like fill every other like thing, whatever we needed to do, played off of that. I don't think that's that big of a thing to implement on the volunteer level. I really don't think it is.
Some pieces of paper and some laminate.
So when you guys are running your 2 engines, are your seat assignments the same on your 2 engines when you're running out other calls?
Yeah, pretty much. So if 61, the little truck runs the bulk of EMS calls. If for some reason 64 is on a call and 61 has to fill in for 64, the roles are the same. The only thing different is that 64 typically has 4 people on it. 61 has 3 people on it. So you have that one extra guy, but really that's kind of minuscule on the bulk of stuff.
Yeah,
that's
that really doesn't
that
change your operations.
It can be weird whenever we get if one of the trucks is out of the firehouse and you have a fire in the city, because then it's hard to like drop one guy to put on the ladder truck and get the ladder truck anywhere quick because it's a big ass truck, right? It's hard to put one guy on that and send him someplace. As long as we're all there, we all 3 show up pretty quick with each other, and then having those kind of like those established roles, like the things that we need to do. And one of the things that we did just change on the shift that I'm on now is that the officer on 61 is going to the ladder truck. So there's been some like, with the guys, it's like, well, when we show up, like, what do we need to do? So to kind of make that easier, we dumped an officer to that truck to make the decision. It's like, are they immediately going to go and search? Are they throwing ladders? Are we going to the roof and ventilating? It's on another officer to figure that out and make that decision.
Well, so
there's no reason every department in this county can't have a setup that way, though. your first in truck's going to be fire attack and possibly split search, depending on the people on it. Your second truck in is probably going to be your water supply.
Yeah. And we've even had it like 2 guys on a truck we a long time ago, whenever I worked in Jefferson County, me and the guy that I worked with, we called it fighting fire with Jesus. Like we show up with 2 guys and there's a fire. It's like the guy that's in the officer seat, he pulls the line and he goes and all that stuff. And then the driver, he charges the line and then the driver puts her gear on.
Yep.
And you leave Jesus at the pump panel. And you just hope
Been there.
everything
God
goes
mode.
well.
Yeah.
God mode.
So
John Wayne time.
we called it fighting fire with Jesus.
I like
John
that.
Wayne time.
Nice.
Yeah. Me,
like that
me
too.
and Corey inside, Jesus on the pump panel.
You talking about
the
Corey
way-
Serini?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the way we liked it. So I don't have a problem with doing that. Now you just have to
No.
know how much water you have and how long you can.
Yeah.
How long can I flow water off the tank that I have?
Yeah. And just have a backup plan and know the guy that you're with really well.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you work with the same people long
But
enough
really,
you
like-
can do that.
Yeah.
Like whenever, like talking about like training, to go back on the training thing, like you have these guys that are training where it's like we have to be like sandwiched together all the
Yep.
time. We are not doing that at
No.
all at Farmington. Like as long as we can communicate to some degree, good enough for us.
That is a
because
training scar.
in order for us to accomplish all the tasks, if we're going to adequately search everything, we have to split up.
Yeah.
So like we are making that like that is a priority. We go inside like pretty much every fire that I've been to in the city as the second officer, I have searched some part of the house completely by myself. At first it was weird to get used to that, but once you're used to it, it's just a thing that you do.
It all goes back to being able to trust whether you're
But
fine.
it's also like I can yell and be like, hey, like there's whatever over here, or like on like radios don't always work, but
Yeah. That's
Like, it's
But
another.
if you're in the
it's not
same
that
building,
hard.
you can hear
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
yeah, especially with the majority of the houses
Yeah.
that we're going to.
Well, and the good news is our air packs have really taken a step up in the last 10 years with the amplified voice
Amplifiers.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because used to 10, 15 years ago.
You were alive then?
Yes, Andrew. I was alive then. I'm still in diapers, but yes. Well, you got to think I came from a department that had hand-me-downs. So what you guys are using today was my, yeah.
Yeah, you had to remember to put batteries in your voice box
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't even have voice amplifiers whenever I started
Yeah,
out.
me
Did they
neither.
even have
We
air
had-
packs?
We had air packs.
We had air packs.
So
They were
at one
steel.
time, I
steel box.
was in a department that had 3 different styles of air packs depending on what truck you were
Oh,
in.
man.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
So
I
that
haven't
was
Shit, I had my MSA mask.
That was
This
like
is Scott.
the newest of the like the MSA, the Firehawks. We had some MSAs that were quarter turns, and we still had some elephant trunks.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what,
I
though.
pulled an elephant truck pack out of a box, out of the
the case.
plastic
Yeah.
box. The
The casing
like we
can.
got to a fire, and I pulled that thing out and I flipped it open. And I was like, well, I know how to use it. I'm going to use it. So
You know what? People knock the elephant trunks, but you ever get your ass in trouble and run out of air?
Shove it in your coat.
Shove that,
For sure.
shove that bitch down your coat. You're good to go.
Yeah,
Yep.
for a minute. You
For-
get
yeah.
out to get
Yeah,
out.
to get out.
So, yeah. But I mean, this all goes back down to the splitting up and searching. It's perfectly fine, but you have to be able to trust not only the guy you're inside the house with, but you have to trust that when you get into shit, if you run into anything, that your fire ground is established on the outside properly.
You do?
Well, you're
You're the
supposed
only
to.
two there?
should.
You
But
should.
we're limited on manpower. So it's
You-
like how
you're-
many of the
yeah.
tasks can we accomplish like quickly and efficiently?
Mhm.
And
What's
it's,
the low
like,
hanging fruit?
Yeah.
Are we going to maybe do some things that might be slightly risky and potentially save a life, or are we going to not attempt to save someone who is savable?
At that rate,
and-
you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
And it's there have been too many instances where fire departments that should have been very squared away fire departments have wrote off occupancies that had people that were still alive inside of them, and then they decided not to search them. And I have seen like conversations like for training that have popped up with a picture of a house and it has fire coming out of it, and they're like oh well, there's no point in even searching that. I'm like, bullshit. Like if there isn't fire there, we're searching.
There's a will,
If
there's a way.
If there's a place there isn't fire, we're gonna search
If
it.
there is survivable, tenable space, it
And-
can be searched.
But who
you
determines
don't-
that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we don't know it until we
Bingo.
go inside of it.
yeah, you
gotta
have
go
to
inside
you
and
have to
determine
make
that.
it safe. If you can't
In the,
if you can't determine there's a safe space, make it safe and search it.
by putting
Or
water
find
on
another
the
way
fire.
in.
Put the
Yeah.
wet
Best
shit
thing
on the
for
hot
anything,
shit.
you put
Yeah.
the water
Yeah.
on the fire.
Wet shit on red
Something
shit.
is
Water
better than
always
nothing.
wins.
We complicate our job a lot, and it's really not rocket science. It's
No,
a very simple job. People way overthink everything that we do, and our number one priority, and the whole goal of our job is to save lives and preserve property.
Yep.
If we're not doing that,
Yeah.
We're wrong.
And to go along with that, the people that like, and I get like, I want to go home at the end of my shift, but like we took on a responsibility to put ourselves in harm's way to protect people.
Life and property.
That's what we get paid for.
You signed the contract when you signed
That's
on.
what we're supposed to do. So when people are quick to write stuff off, it peeves me off pretty bad. Like,
yeah,
Basically,
if
you
you're
put
not-
yourself over whoever the fuck was in whoever was in that house.
yeah, and,
You did.
and
Like
being
the-
on those calls where you work your ass off trying to get to the known victims inside. I mean, I'm not talking just searching, looking for victims, but knowing that there's someone in there, and then you can't make a difference, and it's
Eat you alive.
yeah, and it
yeah.
sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks.
You know, and it's and we don't find a lot of people in buildings, but we search every building like we're going to find somebody, and that's
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then whenever you do, on the rare occasion where you do find somebody, like it's still like, no shit, there's a
Yeah.
person here, but it's like you're kind of showing up with like that in your mind, like
Yeah.
we're going to search like we're going to find somebody, and then whenever you do find somebody, it's like
It's not a surprise.
I'm already like I
and-
should be mentally prepped for this.
I'll take it a step further. When you kick out on alarm sounding calls and your routine alarm
Smells and
sounding,
bells.
smells and bells calls, you expect fire, you expect victims, and every time you go out those bay doors, that is in your mind that is what you are going to be coming up against
Oh,
when
yeah.
you get on scene.
So you can be
Yeah,
mentally
a
prepared.
fire
for it.
alarm at a place we go to every week. I'm screaming the sirens. We're in our packs. We're taking
Thank
a can.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We're doing it.
Smells and bells. Do you guys do that at
yeah,
Saline?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm huge on like if we go someplace, fire alarms. We go to a lot of commercial fire alarms. Anything like that, if there is no obvious signs of fire when we get there, we still take the can. Especially like commercial building. A big commercial building can hold a lot of smoke.
For
Like,
sure.
you can have a fire and not really know it from the outside.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like that's a big thing with me. It's like we always take a can, we always take some tools, or like bring Knox box key, like all the stuff.
Packs,
And
gear,
it's
Yeah.
all
like
the
we're gonna
things.
treat it like it's a fire.
treat it like it's a
because
real fire.
And
if
if
you
you're-
don't, so I will. So I do have a thing. And it's really about. I have a short training thing that I have like in house, and it's understanding fire alarm systems. I don't get in a huge rush on trouble alarms because it's not a fire side of the system. It's a communications issue.
yeah.
But that's really so. And it's like we're still going to go to it. Like we're still going to run the sirens and everything like that. But it's like that's like that is not a fire alarm. But it's like the ones that give me, it's like water flow. It's
Yeah.
like in water flow. Like I'm expecting like we're going to get there and something is burning.
I literally was on.
Rarely is.
I was on a department where we weren't allowed. Get this shit. We weren't allowed to run code to alarm soundings.
Really.
So yeah, maybe it can be a little bit inconvenient to run code to stuff that you get. Say you get kicked out to the. I know that we're probably thinking of the same place all the time, but that has literally happened at this location.
Yes.
Where they've rolled up, literally caught with their pants down,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
and been
And-
on fire.
That was legit. Literally, I shit you not. That was legit. Majority of the places where we didn't run code to.
Yes, that place in particular was what came to mind because
You never know.
it happens all the time, right?
Yep.
But that one time is all it takes.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, I hate to cut us short here, but Josh is going to be leaving us here soon. I want to do a little bit of a wrap up here. We still have some stuff to talk about, and I think we're going to come back and do this again. How's that sound?
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if our listeners could drop into the comments what they think of this episode, if they want us to come back and do it, that'd be fantastic. I've had a great time sitting here with you guys tonight. I really feel like I'll go ahead and say it. I feel like we've opened up some cans of worms people are probably sitting at home squirming about, and that's okay. Because to us, we're doing our job. We're voicing our opinion. If you don't like it, well, then you're probably part of the problem, to be quite honest with you. So, but I mean, I feel like we're getting somewhere. Will we change it? Maybe, maybe not. The only thing we can do is hope for it.
Yeah.
So I've had a great time with you guys tonight. You guys have really, really made an impact tonight. So thank you to all of our listeners who joined in and dealt with our craziness all night. And for Taylor for jumping in with us and for harassing me on all of our posts and talking to me more than you probably talk to your husband, to be quite honest with you.
I think that we could just bring her here and give her a mic off to the side, and then she could correct us.
Interject and correct us.
Is that kind of like when you give your cousin the controller that's not hooked up and they're just sitting over there just playing away? Yeah. I'm going to get yelled at for that probably.
Probably.
Yeah, other than that, this has been the Midwest Mayhem Square Table Round Table, Firehouse Round Table, Square Table, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Jeff, thank you so much for jumping in. Frontline Armory we've got quite a few comments to read through. I'll try to get through them very quickly. Let's see here. Jeff said if we could get the departments to work together, we wouldn't need the college. The good old St. Francis County daisy chain. John Mills said the failure to use a proper tag in and out system, both for job assignments and general accountability, leads to disorganized scenes where personnel waste critical minutes figuring out what to do. I will agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The lack of preparedness and command ultimately compromises life, safety, and property protection, tracing directly back to the failure in leadership.
I would agree with that.
All the things in an NIOSH report.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And then Frontline said, Dylan brought up a good point. What does everyone think about alarm soundings? We just kind of covered that. Yeah. He said you could be using the cup and strings theory inside of a house fire for communication.
Nah, we just we know where we should be at.
Jeff Romine said, great job, guys. Loved
it. Works for us. Sorry.
Taylor said, let me talk. I'll make everyone mad. Frontline says, wife's voice is serious. Yeah. So we've had a lot of feedback on our comments tonight, and I'm hoping to get it to grow the next time we come back and do this. But for now, I'm your host, Tyler. I'm sitting here with, gentlemen, would you like to introduce yourselves one more time for the people who caught the ass into this episode?
My name's Rod, and I like to party.
Rod Farva?
You kind of got the. Yeah. I think if I put my mustache on you, that'd be kind of Farvish.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Oh man, you got to be able to grow one. Put some Rogaine on that thing.
Just for men.
Yeah. If I'm using Rogaine to grow something, it ain't gonna be a mustache, boys.
Uh-oh.
Anywho, this is Andrew Hopkins. This is Dylan Miner, Josh McAtee. Thank these boys for coming out and hanging out with me tonight, and for talking some mad shit and having a lot of fun. So we're gonna come back and do this again. Huge thank you to Muddy River Training, Tyler Prater. Great guy. From what I understand, I've not met this gentleman yet, and I can't wait to meet him. They're going to jump on and sponsor the podcast for, I think, into 2027. So I'm excited to have them on board. We're going to do a lot more of this, and we'll be back hopefully here soon in the next couple months. Until then, we got a couple episodes coming up for Voices of Valor and a couple other ones. Check out our Facebook page and look at our schedule. You can go to our website at MidwestMayhemPodcast.com. Check out all of our socials. Our Beacons link is on there. You can find all of our social media and all of our listening platforms. I'm starting to get a little brain fog here. But other than that, thank you guys again for joining in here with me tonight, and I look forward to doing it with you guys again.
Yeah, appreciate the invite. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. So until then, this has been Midwest